So you want to be an actor, huh? Because that's what I hear. I hear you want to be an influencer. You want to be a fucking working actor. You want to go to Hollywood. Everybody thinks it's always sunny in Hollywood. That's what's crazy. But today, with my pal, your pal, our acting pal, Kyle Davis, well, we're going to find out what it really takes to be a working actor in 2025. A declining residual check every time you open one, a collapsing entertainment industry. We're talking the cost of inflation just by living versus a hidden metric of a streaming service in which you can't get the data. It's fucked up, right? And I guess that's where perception meets reality because everybody always knows the perception of fame is great, but nobody wants to pay the fucking price for the fame. But I guess that's where the lines get construed because do you want to know what it's like to smoke weed with Seth Rogen? Because I do. Do you want to know what it's like to get fucking drunk at a Michael Bay Christmas party? Yeah, that sounds fun. You want to know what it's like to be in episodes of some of America's biggest sitcoms of all time? Yeah, let's find out. So, if any of these things that I've said is even remotely struck your little bit of interest, then why don't you stay tuned? It's Kyle Davis, it's Conversations, it's October. Let's go.
You know it's about that time to grab a bag of the stickiest itchy bond you can find and pearl one up.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother, man? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, dude.
Thanks again. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, no problem, dude. I appreciate the time, man. I appreciate the fact that you appreciate the angle. You know what I mean?
So yeah, hey man, like I said, nobody ever did that angle before, so I was like, oh. But
No, I get it. I get it. It's only so many times you want to talk about, how did you get Lil
I
Kev,
feel
you
like
know?
people, if they do hear it, they're like, this guy's so fake. All he talks about is the same fucking shit all the time. So I don't know,
That's fucked up.
but I'm down. What's going on? How you live? You live in New York, right?
Delaware, Delaware.
Oh, Delaware. Okay.
Yeah, fucking first state, man.
Do
It's
you
actually right outside of
travel?
Philly. Yeah, I
Yeah. Hey.
travel a lot, man. My wife and I, we just went to Vegas. I just turned 40 over the summer in June.
Oh,
So
sweet. Well, dude, that's fucking perfect for these then, bro.
yeah. 85, baby, 85,
Yeah.
Some of the best things are
You
created
did a
then.
little you did a little Vegas trip?
Yeah, I rented an SUV. I took 2 months, well, like almost 2 months off of work. I said, you know what? Fuck it, man. We're gonna cruise around. So we ended up taking 70 west the whole way and
Damn.
drove out to Las Vegas and stopped in Colorado on the way, drove through the Rockies. It was amazing. It was
That
dare I
honestly
say
sounds so
breathtaking.
fucking cool. I love road trips, man. Love
Yeah,
them.
have you driven through the Rockies before?
I have. Me and my dad and my brother, we did a whole entire trip through Colorado and all over. We took the train in the middle of the snowy weather that went like all the way back into these mountains, and like it was so freaking awesome, man. I loved it.
It was crazy too because when we drove through, I mean, it's so cliche to say, but I seen why they put the Rockies on a beer can. You know what I mean? It was so nice. It was beautiful, man. It was, and not only that, but it
Yeah.
was like 110 degrees as we were driving through. It was right during a fucking heat stretch.
Right.
And man, I'm looking up on the top and I'm like, snow. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy
It's
to me.
true.
It's insane.
Now
It's
every
unheard of.
time I hear that, I just think of Dumb and Dumber. I thought the Rockies would be a whole lot rockier than this. Did you
Yeah,
ever see
right.
them? Oh fuck, I love that movie, dude.
Oh yeah. Surprised you're not in like the reboot of that or something, dude.
I auditioned. Well, I auditioned for that movie, Dumb and Dumber, the one with the two, like when it was the younger version of them
Yeah.
back in the day. I auditioned for Jeff Daniels' part, but obviously didn't get that thing. That was a long ass time ago, and that movie was not good. So.
Shit, still though, man. So, I imagine in Hollywood, from having these kind of conversations with people, I imagine that any money's good money from what I get out of it. I mean, unless obviously you're doing something that's just like you're like, what in the fuck am I doing here? But for
Right.
the most part, like any job is a good job because it could come and go, right?
Well, honestly, especially now because like our fucking whole industry is crumbling, collapsing due to so many different reasons. Obviously, AI is a huge reason. They're basically it's not even just for the entertainment industry. It's taking over the whole world and costing
Absolutely.
people their jobs and destroying things. Then you got all the streaming services, which now I have to work for, but they don't pay shit for residuals. They screw you over. They give you the lowest pay because they know they can because they control everything now. Back in the day, it used to be the top like five networks like CBS, NBC, Fox, ABC. And those, if you got a job on those, like a hour-long series, you can make some pretty good cash off that. And then your residuals would be pretty decent to survive off for a little bit. But now it's basically impossible, unfortunately. So
Is it because the companies, like let's say, I'm NBC and I have Peacock or something. And in between that, I knew that even though it's under the same umbrella, it's like, oh, we're gonna sign the rights away to the show to Peacock, and then Peacock kind of divvies it how they want, and there's no generalized like baseline for that yet.
yeah, I think it's something similar like that. So basically, I think there's like this company for like residuals and other stuff that kind of tracks that. But when
Okay.
it comes to streaming services like Netflix, they're notorious for this. They don't want to give out information because they know they're ripping us off and they don't want to pay us residuals. So they're like, "Oh, we don't know the exact numbers yet." And we're like, "What the fuck, dude? Come on, man." And honestly, now those top like five networks I was telling you about, like ABC, NBC, a lot of those companies own these streaming services now. They
Yeah.
just broke off and started these other companies. I would love to go back to 10 years ago, not even that, 5 years ago, and have direct TV again and do that shit. Now you got to have 15 streaming services to watch all the shows you want to. And then I'm a big sports guy. I can't even fucking watch sports on any channel now.
Say say you have your hometown baseball team, but then you have a baseball team across the country. You're like, oh, I have to subscribe to this, I have to watch this, and on Thursdays you have to watch the other one that's only Thursday games. It is ridiculous. It's like what 300 a month if you want everything.
Yeah, seriously. So I have the MLB package, and you know
Okay.
what's fucked up is I'm a Dodger fan. I'm from LA, and I can't watch the Dodger games because it's blacked out here because you have to subscribe to Fox Sports One. It makes no sense, man. It's just it's all a money grab. All these fucking big corporations are so goddamn greedy.
Something like that though, right? Then it brings up like the ethical question of, okay, you're in the industry, you face these streaming royalties, and the struggle there. But to watch the Dodgers, do you stream it online?
I totally understand. And you know what? I haven't even watched a game this whole entire season on TV
Gotcha.
because I don't really want to pay for another streaming service. And
Right.
if I do watch one, I'll go to a bar that has it streaming or something like that. And
Right.
I used to go to like 5, 10 Dodger games a year. Now I can't even afford to go to a Dodger game because just for one person to go there, parking's $50 for parking at
Yeah.
Dodger Stadium.
Oh, fuck that.
Beers are $20. Food, I mean, you're going there by yourself, you're spending easily $300 and that's for like a cheap, like shitty ticket, like way up in the high seats. So
That's yeah. You're not going to see the sweat on Shohei Ohtani up there.
yeah, no, because I used to go to Dodger games all the time, and me and my wife, and we would sit right behind the dugout, and those tickets back then were like $80, and now
Right.
those same tickets are like $500 to $600.
It's ridiculous, dude. It
And
it is insane. Inflation is crazy.
yeah, it really is,
I,
and it's inflation for all of us, but for the rich people, like, oh yeah, dude, we love this shit. We're making so much cash. Why everybody else is sitting there struggling? So
they go, oh, it's not too bad. But then again, when they go into the grocery store and spend that fucking $9 on that gallon of milk, $3 of it goes right back in their pocket anyway. So you know
that's
what I
what I don't
mean?
understand, dude. These companies are making so much money. I just went grocery shopping yesterday to like two stores, and I spent like $350 and barely have anything. And I'm like, what? I don't get this shit. It doesn't make any sense. And this isn't like this is everybody's problem.
Yeah.
There's not even like a middle class anymore. It's basically you're either rich or you're just fucking poor now. It seems like there
It's
used to be
true.
all these different classes, and now I feel like everybody, the past little bit is just like, oh man, I can barely fucking pay rent. I can barely do this, and I'm like, I feel you. I feel you. So
It's insane. It's I not to say I've always thought less of myself, but I've always been one of those people where I'm like, okay, I gotta own a house one day. Gotta own a house. I gotta have something. I gotta have something to show for something because I'm just like everybody else. I have
you,
nothing to show for my hard work.
yeah,
At least I feel I don't. Mentally, yeah, but you get what I'm saying. But like nothing like, hey, look at this house or whatever.
for
I drive a
sure.
I drive a 2012 fucking Chevy Cruze, man. You know what I mean? So, but what I'm getting at is nowadays it's like, oh, the more logical sense, which is fucked up, is to rent, especially in this area. It's like, wow, if you rent because you're not having all those property taxes, I'm not paying somebody to cut my grass, or I'm not even paying for the gas and the equipment to cut my grass. I'm not paying the extra for the trash. And it's like, as much as the rent keeps going up, they're basically paying you off not to own anything anymore. And
Yep.
it's fucking ridiculous. It's crazy. Same
You're
thing with the
literally a
streaming.
hundred. You're 100% right. There's no like dream like there was back in the day to own a home anymore.
Yes.
Like, dude, unless I win the lottery or hit a huge TV show, which is really not realistic, I'm going to be renting for the rest of my life and living in a shitty apartment, because even a shitty apartment out here, I spend so much money on rent. And then other
Right.
people who I know in other states where it's still expensive, they're like, dude, that's how much I pay for my 3-bedroom house. I'm like, that's crazy. It makes me
Yeah.
it makes me sad and angry because my daughter's like, Dad, I want a backyard. I'm like, so do I, so do I. But
Right.
unfortunately, you can't have one. So,
When I hear you say that, I think I'm like, fuck you, Texas. You know
oh,
what I
dude,
mean?
yeah, fuck. Yeah, exactly, dude, exactly, bro. Do you have any kids at all or no?
No, no.
Okay,
My wife and I, she was married before. It's my first marriage. Been together 8 years, married three. Neither one of
okay,
us had children. It's out of the question, which is great. At least for us, you know what I mean? I've always lived under that moniker of not growing up, but as a younger man, I like to just on the weekends get in my car and be like, hey man, hey, yeah, sure, it's 3 hours away. I'll
yeah,
be there in 3.5 hours, on a
I
whim.
totally get that. I totally get. That's why we kind of started later in life, obviously, and so I
Right.
basically just partied my whole 20s,
Nice.
30s, because we live right. Vegas is only a 3-hour drive from us,
Nice.
and back in the day when I was making a lot of money in commercials, I was just one of those people. I'd get all my friends and I'd be like, dude, just come with me. I'll fucking pay for it. Let's just go have fun. And
Yeah, hell yeah.
that was the best time back before I didn't give a shit about hotel rooms, where because we weren't even hanging out in there. We were just drinking all night. Now when I go, because I'm fucking old, now I'm like, I need a comfortable room. I need to be able to
Yes.
chill out. I'm not like sitting there pounding vodka Red Bulls anymore where my heart's
Right.
gonna explode. I'm like the old people I would see in Vegas and be like, "Huh, I'm not gonna fucking be like that." And now I'm exactly like that. So
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? You're like,
no,
fuck yeah,
no.
I'm just hanging out. I'm just gonna sit here. Like for me, I'm not big on drinking, but I will have I'm a cocktail kind of guy. Like they always
Right.
say, like, oh, this guy has a fruity drink or whatever. But I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's that shit that'll fuck you up though, because you don't realize how much
You will.
alcohol you're drinking. You
Yep.
know?
What's your
My
what's your go-to mixed drink?
I thoroughly enjoy what they call over here the painkiller.
Oh yeah, dude, I fucking love those, bro.
Yeah, painkiller's very good. I like a bee's knees.
What's that?
Oh man, a bee's knees is like I've only had it a couple times, but it was so good. It was like tequila, agave, and pineapple juice kind of deal.
That sounds fucking delightful,
It
dude.
was so good. And what's weird about it is somebody out there is going to see this and go, that's not what it is. I've had a bee's knees at different places and it's always
Right.
made a little different. That one in particular, I heard was like an old fashioned bee's knees, but it was
Oh,
very good. It was very good.
it's so
And
funny
then
because I use that word all the time. It's just like my go-to word, so I love that one.
there's a lot of good mixed drinks out there, man. What about you? What's your
I love I just love old fashions.
okay,
That's my
yeah, dude, some
I
whiskey.
love like bourbon and whiskeys, but I also love mezcal, like the smoky
Yeah,
tequila. So
yeah.
I do a lot of like mezcal old fashions and stuff like that. espresso martini every once in a while.
Oh, okay. Fuck yeah.
Those are fucking delightful. But I usually stick to old fashions and or
Nice.
what is it called? A whiskey smash. It's
Okay.
like you have to do it. You have to do it in that crushed ice, and it has like some like basil leaf on top and like some other shit. But it's fucking bomb.
I like the you say martinis. I'm a martini guy myself. I always like the especially this time of year coming up on it. It's like this sour apple and caramel martini. Dude,
Dude,
fucking load me
it
up,
tastes like
dude.
the caramel apple shit.
Yes,
I think
yes.
that's what it's called, like the caramel apple martini.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those are. Do you guys have that? Do you guys have that sandwich shop there called Ike's at all?
No, no, we have Jersey Mike's, that
Okay,
shit, but we don't have. I've never heard of Ike's.
maybe it's just a SoCal thing, but they every time you get a sandwich from there, they put those caramel apple suckers in there for you as a
Really?
treat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever even had those caramel apple suckers, but
Yeah, I know
they're
exactly the
awesome.
charm, like Charms Blow Pops or something.
Yeah,
Like the
dude.
Charms, yeah, the
Yeah,
flat ones. Hell yeah.
I love that shit, man.
You ever had a what is it called? Chiba Hut. You ever eaten at the Chiba Hut?
I have, yeah.
I heard of that. I don't know what other people think about it, but I always heard this legend about Chiba Hut and just somebody who likes. I love to smoke. It's me and my wife's thing. I was on a quest to find it, and then when we found it out there, we found it in Colorado. I was like, yeah, give me. I forget what I ended up getting, but I was like, give me the blunt, the big one. I was like, give me the
Yeah,
fucking goo balls, give me all the snacks, just
nice.
give it all to me. And
That's awesome.
one of those things where I feel it would fare well on the East Coast, but they don't have it. And I was like,
Huh.
shit, man. It's so good though. It was so good.
So how long have you been into like collecting cards and stuff like that or toys or
So man, just like my whole life, I've been one of those people where I would buy other people's collections, take a picture with it, and then I'll be like, hey, how much? How much you want? I'm one of those
right.
people where I'm always consistently evolving with what I like. What about you?
Well, I kind of like got out of it for a while, but I used to
Right.
collect back when I was a kid, like He-Mans and GI Joes, Hot Wheel cars, Garbage Pail Kids, baseball cards. Dude, it's so crazy because the only thing I really have left is some He-Mans, and so on my desk I actually have my Battle Cat.
Nice. Hell yeah.
But the crazy thing is, so my mom had an engraver and she thought it would be a good idea to engrave all of my fucking toys
Oh no.
when I take them to school so nobody would take them. So literally, I don't know if you can see it on here. It says Kyle Davis engraved on the goddamn bottom of that thing, which truthfully now it might be worth more money. So, but
Right.
back in the day, it wasn't. I'm not joking. Every one of them on the bottom of their feet or something says my name.
This is fucking battle damage He-Man, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking crazy.
I remember when I was younger, we had this little like I don't know, it was weird. My mom called it the Pee Wee house, but it was like this tiny little shed that my grandfather painted, and like it, would, like I go to play in it or whatever. And the
Right, yeah.
neighbor kid, he had all kinds of like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and shit, you know what I mean? And he had like the whole fucking set. And I remember I wanted them so bad. And I was like, oh man, he has like the whole set and he'd be playing with them. So I remember taking him out to my shed one day and was like, hey, you can have anything in here for your set. I think he grabbed like it was like a plastic bowling ball and some of these cheap ass bowling pins. And I was like, yeah, dude. I just remember being like, I know I got the better end of that deal at like 7, 8 years old. Was like,
Yeah,
fuck
dude.
yeah. This kid. I let him have
Dude,
everything in there.
I used to have that set of plastic bowling pins. That was so
You know
much
what I'm
fun,
talking about?
dude. Me and my brother took out his Star Wars collection. He had everything, and we shot them all with our BB guns and pellet guns, and just destroyed everything. Because why the fuck not?
Right?
But God, man, so many things I look back on. And my dad, when he went to the military, he used to collect a lot of baseball cards, and he had all those rookie cards of like huge people because he's born in 1948, so he collected a lot of
Oh
like
shit.
very old cards. And when he went to the military, his mom threw them all in the trash.
Oh
So
my god, dude.
I mean, I tell my dad now, I was like, Dad, you would have had so much money. He's like, Yeah, I know, son. You don't need to bring it up. So, oh man.
Dude, that's gotta suck so bad to know that.
It's a common story back in the day when people
Yeah.
went to the military. Their parents, they're just like, "Oh, we're gonna save room and toss these silly little cards." So,
Yep. Get rid of the childish things, you know.
yep,
And it's like,
Exactly.
shit, man. Now people, obviously, people will pay anything to relive their
Oh,
childhood. And
fuck yeah.
and it's like, especially when like, you have no fucking money growing up, and then now you're like, you're a man, you're going, I did want that. I did want that fucking Space Invaders fucking on the 2600. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
let's
dude.
just buy it. Like
For sure.
that Second Life, man. But it's so crazy too, because right now it sucks about the cards is that bubble is happening. There's going to be a
Yeah.
pop somewhere, just like with the housing fucking
The exact
bubble. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Speaking
It's
of the
going to
housing
collapse
bubble,
somewhere.
that's about to happen again soon. For
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
Remember that movie? Do you remember that movie, The Big Short?
Dude, that I watched that movie and it was a great movie. And then I was so angry after watching it because I realized how these just big corporations are screwing us over. And I was like, oh my God, this is insane.
Yeah,
It's
betting against it. Like, what in the fuck?
oh,
These people can't pay their shit. Like, that's fucked, dude. That's what
it's
it's crazy. It's
so
just getting
nuts.
worse and worse and
It
worse.
really is, dude. You literally have to get rid of everybody and start anew because it's never going to change. None of these politicians want it. That's why they sign lifetime contracts. Like, well, we
Yep.
don't want to vote ourselves out. Well, how else are we going to make our money? And of course, when they voted for like, playing the stock market, no, we want to keep playing. Well, fucking, of course you do. You're making millions, motherfuckers. Uh,
Yeah, and they're making the money, and they're not even being the fucking big players. That's what's crazy.
I know, but they obviously know they're doing insider trading for sure. How else do
Oh
they
yeah.
know this stuff? And they're investing, like $100,000 and turning that into fucking $10 million, which
Yeah.
is bonkers. I don't like politics and I don't like any side. I just government feels like they're just kind of like screwing us all over.
100%.
If you're into it on either side, it's just fucking stupid. They're just playing with your head to I don't know.
That's it. Throwing darts at strings and seeing who tugs back, like on the fishing line. That's
I
all it
always
is.
use this scenario because it's so true. I have like out here, and I'm sure it is in every state. There's so many corrupt police officers out here, especially in Los Angeles.
Right.
And I had a friend who, because growing up, I actually wanted to be a police officer before I got beat up and became blind. My plan was to join the military and then get out and become a police officer. That was my whole plan. And a lot of my buddies were like, "Yeah, I want to do it, and I actually want to be a good one and get in there and make change." The problem is that like the LAPD, they're like a fucking gang out here. If you go
Um,
in with that mindset, like, yeah, I want to do good. As soon as you do that, they're like, no, 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 no. You're either gonna do it our way or you're fucking out of here.
they it's funny because you're in Cali, I'm in Delaware, and they are starting to call Delaware the little California. Just
Really?
the way that like our politicians are, not to say I'm red, but like we're a very blue state. You know what I mean? Like we just had the biggest fentanyl bust in Delaware history, and the guy only got 25 years. And we're talking like pounds and pounds of fucking
Dude,
fentanyl,
when
man.
the hell did fentanyl? When did, dude? Back in the day, I have no problem with telling this now, but I lived in a small town in Arizona. I was born in California, but I moved there when I was younger. And in smaller towns, I feel like at least back in the '90s, there was nothing to do, so we did a lot of drugs and a lot of crazy shit.
100%.
We were doing
Yeah.
fights. I became one of the local drug dealers, doing shit like that, and I was selling cocaine and doing all kinds of stuff. Back then, you didn't have to worry about fentanyl and overdosing. At least not that I worried about. Nowadays, I don't do drugs, but I would be so paranoid to even put any of that stuff in my
Yes.
body. One wrong move and you're fucking gone.
Quick, when in a fucking instant, dude. It's
I'm
sad.
used to like, because you said you smoke, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude, I'm used to the stuff nowadays for me is so potent. I can't
Yeah.
even do it. I'm 47 years old. So back when I was smoking it, I would buy a fucking quarter. I could sit there and smoke joint after joint and laugh and be so like being like, oh, this is so funny. And then be like, let's go eat some food. Let's go fucking go to Circle K. Nowadays, I take one hit and I'm like, oh my God, I think I need to go to the emergency room. I think I'm having like a
Get
fucking
that
yeah, I don't
tolerance
like
level.
that because I go into all the weed stores here. I'm like, hey man, I try to find the oldest person. I was like, hey man, you're old like me. I was like, is there any stuff like we called it back then? No offense to anybody. We called it like Mexican dirt weed because that's where we used to get it. Like a lot of my friends were Mexicans. I worked at a Mexican restaurant. I won't name the name of it. I used to buy pounds and pounds of weed from them, and also a lot of cocaine, and that's where I'd get all my stuff. And God, it was just so good. But they don't make that
Fuck
shit
yeah.
anymore. Everybody's growing shit in labs now and making it so potent. I
Oh
want to
yeah.
go back and get some of those cheap ass seeded bags that just had like
Oh
100 seeds
man.
in them. I mean, obviously, remember if you smoked back then, you were smoking it and you get
Yeah.
the pop because you left
Y-
one of the seeds in it and it fucking pops up there.
Yep. And it has that smell, and you're like, ah, but
Yeah,
it's
dude. I know. All my friends growing up when like when I was like 14 to like 17 years old, just going to my friend's house, we all fucking smoking bongs with the awesome like pictures on the wall, the velvet marijuana pictures with the black light on there. Just
yeah.
getting so stoned and eating like chips and hot dogs from Circle K.
Started when I was 16. My mom actually was like, hey man, literally, real conversation. My mom was like, you're too fucking high strung. Try some of this. And I was like, no, how could you bring that into our house? And she was like, just smoke the fucking weed, man. Go
Right.
with your friends and smoke. And I was like, all right. And then I got it. I was like, oh, okay. Like it's not that fucking serious, you know?
Dude.
But
Yeah, that's what's so crazy about all these lawmakers. Obviously, they don't even give a shit about weed. They give a shit about money
the
when they
money.
set up all these laws and like, well, weed out here is legally state by state, but federally it's still illegal and you can be
Yep.
arrested for it. It's just all a money grab, especially in like Texas and shit. It's so funny because Texas wants to be known as this like we're pure state, we don't do any of this stuff, and it's like bullshit. You guys are fucking. You have all that stuff there, but it's
Yeah.
because it's very religious and a lot of other
Bible
stuff going
Belt.
on there, and so
That's just like here. They, they fought it. They passed a law 2 years ago, finally, for it to become recreational. They just
right.
opened up their first recreational dispensary 27 days ago or 28 days ago. They had the lottery, picked the winners, and then told those people, you're not allowed to open up shop because the lobbyists for the fucking pharmaceutical places were like, hey, we should have first pick since we were already open. And now they're the only people with it.
Dude, that's so fucked up, man.
They want it to be a $1 billion business where you make minimum wage when you're doing it for the man. You know what I mean?
100%, 100%, my friend. Man, I want to go now. I want to go like pop open a Miller High Life 32 ounce, smoke some weed,
Fuck
and
yeah,
just
dude.
chill. That sounds like a good Friday.
A lot of guys, I guess it's everywhere. A lot of guys like the IPAs and the real hoppy shit, but I'm like,
Well,
yeah, I just
dude.
can't fucking do. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't like tight jeans. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know, man.
I like beer and all that stuff like that, but IPAs I cannot do.
Yeah.
It tastes like pine cone throw up to me. I
Yeah,
don't. It
dude.
just tastes. It's too piney and just tastes so bitter and gross. It's not my jam.
You remember the original Formula 4 locos?
So, of course, brother. Of course.
Okay, this I don't. I'm gonna. This is a question to see if is this an East Coast thing? Was this is where I was from, or is this worldwide? Right?
Hit me.
When you were growing up, maybe young enough to drink or old enough to drink, maybe a little before, whatever. But when you started like partying, right? Was Mad Dog? They called it Mad Dog 2020. Did you? Are you familiar?
Oh, bro, dude, Mad Dog 2020. I think it was everywhere, right? Like it had to
Right?
have been. So we used to, because obviously we were young drinking it. We used to go to our local Circle K. My apologies, Circle K. I probably owe you some money, but we used to go and steal that shit. And we would go to our park and we would just get so hammered off Mad Dog 2020s. We would get the strawberry kinds.
Yes.
What was the other one there? I forget the other flavor. At Circle K, they only had two flavors. It was like strawberry and maybe like a
Well, probably a
uh,
grape. Was it the grape one?
yeah, probably. It was something like that.
Oh,
But dude, we used to just get those, and man, we would just take those to the dome. And I love those. Those, and do you remember Boone's Farm?
yeah, dude. Yeah, the bottles, the
Dude,
blue. I remember the blue Boone's Farm bottle.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, Boone's Farm, Strawberry Hill. We used to slam that. All that stuff used to bring back so much memories. So I'm gonna have to go try that out again, just to, you know, feel nostalgic and shit.
It's
So
hell yeah. Get well, I see it every once in a while. And now it's like they have I don't know if it's the flavor or what, but it's like the bling bling flavor or something. It looks like
huh.
it's the Boone's for or it's the Mad Dog, but it looks like it's wearing a little chain on the
Oh,
logo.
really?
And I was like,
All right.
what? This is crazy.
Huh.
It's
Do they
a
is that
whole
at
new
like is that at
generation.
like liquor stores and shit or
Yeah, it's yeah, around here it's so around here we only have liquor stores. They don't sell any alcohol in like the 7-Eleven or the grocery store.
oh
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, it's like church and state. It's crazy, which makes no fucking sense to me. But there's always a liquor store right next to your grocery store, so that's cool.
Oh, gotcha. When I was shooting that show American Primeval recently for 6 months in New Mexico, it was very much like that. They had so many weird rules and laws. How you like we'd go in like, oh, you can't just order a drink. You actually have to order food with the drink. I was like, what? I was like, I'm
Oh
not fucking
wow.
hungry. I just want a drink. Like, sorry, it's a law. I was like, okay. And they had weird things where they didn't sell it in certain stores, grocery stores, very much like what you were saying. You had to buy it in the liquor store and do shit like that. I
Oh, that's
that's
trippy.
it's very weird, but whatever. It was fine. After living there for 6 months, I got used to it. Now I'm back to normal living.
When you're doing something like that, when you're traveling and you're filming something like that, and you're going, even when the cameras aren't rolling, boom, it's the end of the day, it's quitting time. You're going out, you're having that beer. Is there a per diem, or is that out of your own pocket?
So when you go out on location and do shows, yes, there is a per diem. Which on our, when we had the SAG strike like a year ago, we tried to get the per diem raised as it should be because dude, it's only you get a $60 day per diem, which people I say they're like, oh dude, you're so lucky that's $60. I was like, dude, where you go, that's like one meal if you're eating
Yes,
out. It's no money. Like the way the inflation is, that should be like 120, $130 a day
absolutely.
easily. So I ended up spending probably the $150 a day on eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, having drinks, even more than that. So we're losing money. But yes, you do get a $60 a day per diem, which is fine if you're working like every day on set because then you're getting eating craft service and have meals provided. But doing a show like I was, because it was a 6-part miniseries and a huge ensemble, dude, there was like weeks I would be out there where I didn't even work at all. So then I was spending way much more money than I was getting in per diem. But yeah, it's still cool though. I'm glad
Hell
we
yeah.
get some type of money because yeah, otherwise we'd be absolutely screwed because a lot that's why I started doing these residual check videos if you've seen them
Yeah.
to try to fill people in. Even when I was out there in Santa Fe for so long, we were staying at this like fancy hotel or whatever, almost kind of like bungalow style. And we'd see a lot of people be sitting out in the jacuzzi and they're like, oh, you're one of those fancy actors. You must be so rich. And it started making me so angry. I was like, no, man. I was like, first off, I don't make fucking shit. Like, you think that we're all these like top A-list actors making all this money? And I would explain it to them. By the time I was done, they'd be like, oh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I'm like, yeah, man. So just know that the majority of actors are broke and in debt because
All right.
the studios don't pay us hardly any money. And we get taxed almost 50% because when you do a guest star, the IRS thinks you're making that much money every week like you're a series regular. But dude,
Oh wow.
actors, we're lucky if we work 1 or 2 times a year. Say I'll just give you a scenario because nowadays like a guest star on like a network show is probably close to $10,000 if it's top a show. So out of that $10,000, the government takes no joke almost 50%. Then you got to give 10% to your agent. If you have a manager, that's another 10%. If you have a lawyer, which a lot of people do, that's 5%. And then you have to pay 2% to SAG-AFTRA. So you're left with about 28% of your money to try to survive on. And then you got to pay for all the other sites, casting sites you have to upload your pictures on. You have to try to take care of all your bills. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. So I started doing these residual checks because people are like, oh, you get so much money. And I'm like, no, dude, most of my residual checks are like for pennies or dollars or like
Yeah.
$20 here. And you get all these people in the comments, which I don't even really respond to anymore because they're just idiot trolls or they're like, I'm a plumber. I installed a toilet 20 years ago. I don't get residuals for that. I'm like, well, I try to give them a whole explanation, like this huge long speech. And then they just go, well, I did the same thing. I'm like, see, you're not even going to listen to me. So there's no reason to fucking explain it to you, brother. I was like, good luck for you on your toilets. And I basically was like, so when you're an actor, everything is free until you get the job. I'm learning lines, I'm auditioning, putting stuff on tape, driving to auditions, buying stuff, constantly doing that stuff. That's all for free. And 99% of the time, you're not getting one job. So you're actually spending money to be an actor. And it's fucking brutal. And I'm considered one of the lucky ones. I've been doing this for 27 years. And there was a time back in the day when I was making good money on commercials. That was awesome, but I was young and stupid, and like I told you earlier, I was going to Vegas and spending all my money.
Party,
Yeah,
baby.
I was like, oh, dude, this fucking cash cow's never gonna end. And then all of a sudden, it came to an end. Because back then, in like the early or late '90s, early 2000s, I was living in an apartment in Hollywood, paying $300 a month. Had that was it. Just that, and like what utilities were like $20. I had a car that was already paid off. I was just living a lifestyle, spending all my money, not investing anything. I didn't know how to do that. Now I'm paying the price. Obviously, I just regret that. But I had a fucking blast, man. Truly, it was really fun. But nowadays, commercials, they don't pay like that. As you know, everything is streaming.
Yeah.
Probably more than half of commercials don't even exist anymore. And now AI is taking those over. Sorry for that dumb, long-winded answer.
No, that wasn't dumb, long-winded at all, man. That was great. That's, you know, so here's what I find. This is real shit. A lot of people I find just from doing this pod is that people are like me to where we think we know things, but unlike that fucking plumber, I don't turn a deaf ear to it. My new fucking phrase for whatever reason is I'm a how the sausage is made kind of guy. I love to hear the behind the scenes because as much as I am just a fucking guy on the couch, I like to see the whole picture of on both sides, because what I hear from you is obviously, you know, the daily struggles of a working actor. And a lot of people see you when you book that performance and they see you in that jacuzzi and they go, must be fucking nice, but they don't want to be there when you're getting them fucking lines and you're hearing, well, Mr. Davis, you know, we decided to go a different direction, or the phone doesn't ring back at all. And you go, well, what the fuck happened here, bro? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I digress. I guess I'm just a guy on this side.
Honestly, you're 100%. And I love you for doing that, because most people nowadays, they're just so so wrapped up in different parts of social media. They don't do any of their own research. They're just kind of like turning a deaf ear or a blind eye to it, and they're just like, whatever's right in front of me, that's what I'm gonna believe in. I'm like, dude, go do your research. It's really not hard. There's so much stuff out there to just go ahead and fill your brain up and be like, oh, dude, that's fucking interesting. I never knew about that. But yeah, man, it's a tough business, and a lot of people, what they don't realize either is, I've auditioned thousands and thousands of times, and it's honestly just really depressing. You get in these very depressive states where I'm just gonna be real. You're sitting on your couch, crying, just like thinking like, because sometimes you book a job and you see it, and most of the times you're just like, it's just another job. But sometimes I'm like, oh fuck, man, I think I did a pretty good job there. You build up your confidence. You think, you know what? Maybe I'm not that bad of an actor after all. Maybe I'm pretty good. And then you go a year without getting anything, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, man, I fucking suck, dude. I'm fucking awful. I'm lousy. I'm just a piece of shit. And then you just get in this depressive state, and then you just don't even feel like honestly being around anymore. And then you audition hundreds of times, don't get anything, and then you're like, well, I guess I should probably just give up on that. And then that's what happens to a lot of actors. They eventually just give up. I don't know how I just keep going and doing it. Probably because I eventually get jobs every once in a while, but also I don't know how to do anything else. This is what I know how to do. I also love it. And when I grew up, busting my ass, digging ditches, building houses with my dad. I was I did everything in the restaurant business: busser, dishwasher, host, waiter, bar back. So I do all that stuff. So when that plumber person comes on and says that shit, I'm like, man, fuck you, dude. I
Yeah.
fucking did all that shit before you. I never wanted to be an actor, which is probably why I don't really have a lot of actor friends. I just fell into it. So I never took acting classes. I think that's probably why I'm more real to people on the internet, why I can sit there and talk to them, because they're like, "Hey, how did you get into acting and do this whole acting class thing?" I'm like, "Dude, I just fell into it. I never took classes. I just fucking did my own research and fucking interned, and it's all about hard
Yes.
work, and if you want to do it, fucking do it or don't." I don't know.
That's it. Because if not, a lot of people sit on the pot, but they don't shit in a way. Or a lot of
Yep.
people hang around and they wait for somebody to go, wait a minute. No, not
Yeah,
you, that guy. And you're like, who, me? And it's like you have to, you have to put yourself out there.
you have to. And that's why when people ask me that shit now, I'm like, they're like, "How do you get into acting?" I'm like, "I don't even know how to tell you, bro. I got into it
Right.
in 1998 before the internet was even a thing.
Right.
I can't tell you the same way to get into it." I'm like, the only thing I can tell you is there's so much social media. Go make your own thing on a fucking iPhone, and then put it out on all the fucking social medias, and hopefully you'll get something. That's all I can tell you. Dude, you never know what's gonna pop off. Like just recently, my Facebook, I think I had like 9 or 10,000 followers just like a week and a half ago. And
Right.
I just upload those residual check videos. Most of them get like 10, 20,000 views. And then
Right.
one residual check for CSI New York of all, which I was
Right.
like, that was like a lame one. I was like, how did none of my like Lil Kev or Shame, like anything like that?
Right.
That one just fucking blew up and got like over 1 million views, and
Oh shit.
I gained 15,000 followers in like 2 days.
Damn. That's
And
great, dude.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I
Right.
don't understand how this shit works.
It's because
But
it's not what you would expect, like you said. It's funny. I got the CSI back there, the season
oh
two.
shit,
I
yeah,
got,
dude. Let's talk about CSIs, my friend. I'm down.
dude, yo, 'cause you've been on a couple different seasons of them.
I've done all the CSIs, although I know there's like new ones out, like CSI Origins or something. I haven't done those, but all the other I've done all the NCISs, all the CSIs, because
That's
back in
fucking
the
crazy.
days, if you know about it, if you've watched any network shows, there's a very specific formula, because it's basically how people in like Midwest, just to say, not to generalize, who like to watch TV, like, I want to know the killer did something. We don't know who it is, but we're going to find him. And then they bring him in for questioning, and dun, 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 they find him. It's the same formula over and
Yep.
over and over. And eventually what I learned while I was auditioning for it was, I was like, dude, I think I figured out the acting formula, the audition formula. I think I'm going to get these. And sure enough, I started going in and literally just doing the same audition in almost every one of them. And I just started booking every single job,
Oh shit.
specifically on network. I also do a different thing in auditions. I never stick to the script, which I know it pisses some writers off, but you want to be able to stand out in a group where they're seeing hundreds of people. I also, in life, and I don't want to change it for anybody, I fucking cuss all the time. I have a
Yeah,
potty
same here.
mouth.
Yeah.
I cuss all the time. I cuss in front of my kid. I just don't give a shit. And so in auditions for network shows, they can't cuss. So they would be like, you'd go in and be like, "Oh man, I had to grab him by the plums, or he kicked me in the plums." I was like, dude, that's not realistic. I want to make this shit real. So I'd go in there, I'd be like, "Yeah, man, fuck that dude. I fucked him up and I fucking kicked him right in his fucking balls. That fucking piece." But then a lot of people would be like, "Oh shit, this kid, I like that kid." And then they'd be like, "Hey man, can you do that again? Like in the real thing, but just try to make it more realistic. Like if you booked the job, would you be able to do that without cussing?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I just wanted to be realistic." And they're like, "Good to hear." And then I ended up getting the job.
Hell
So
yeah.
I don't know. I also just try to be real, because the thing about acting, they want real people. They don't want a fucking actor. That's why I don't mind people taking acting classes, because it's good practice to get in there and learn stuff, especially if you're new. But when you go in and like try to apply like all these different methods to it, I just feel like it takes away from the performance because then you're trying to do something that they don't want. Just fucking go in there and be real.
Oh
That's
yeah.
just do it. Just do it like fucking Nike, baby.
Yeah, they want somebody that's acting, not somebody that you can tell is acting.
100%, dude.
You know, and that's what we want to see on the other end as well. We want somebody that's in that role.
Well, that's why it's funny. That's why when the CSI New York thing blew up and got all those views, obviously there's so many trolls on the internet. They're like, "You're fucking awful as an actor, you fucking loser." And I'm like, "But dude, I'm acting how they wanted me to do it." Like that's what you don't realize on these network shows. That's why I'm not a big network show guy. That's why I love cable shows, and that's why there's so many great shows now because they're fucking they air them on streaming services where you can cuss and show crazy shit, and there's so many good actors out there. That's why so many good shows, and you're like, oh damn, that was fucking awesome. That's why I love doing, you know, shows like American Primeval, like period pieces where you can get into the character and be crazy and do whatever you want. I just wish they paid more money. I wish they paid like the network shows did.
In terms of payment, and obviously, you know, I'm not going to ask, hey, how much did you fucking make on this? But in terms of payment, I've heard, and this is just, you know, a best guess. Is it safe to say like commercial work pays the best overall? Like in terms of how much you're putting into the payout?
Well, not really. Back in the day, 100%. I've done over 150 commercials. Like I was like the king of McDonald's. I did like 20 something McDonald's commercials, just doing stuff. And yeah, back in the day, I remember I did the very first dollar menu commercial for McDonald's, and I made, dude, I was in the commercial shaving. I used to have spiked up bleach blonde hair. I was in the commercial for maybe a second, shaving my head. I made $80,000 off that.
Fuck, bro.
That stuff is unheard of now. You're lucky, dude, if you do a commercial now, because there's nowhere to really put it, because most people who have streaming services buy the packages without commercials. So you're lucky if you do a national network commercial, if it airs for like a 13-week cycle and then they pull it off. You're lucky if you make 10 grand after taxes and all that stuff. You're walking away with $4,000. So I'll give you an example. Like, so for that streaming show, American Primeval, dude, this is the thing about streaming services. They just fucking lowball you because they know they can, because they know there's so many actors out of work. They're like, oh, well, it's a take it or leave it deal. Either he takes it or we'll just hire the next guy. And it's so fucked up because they don't really care about getting the best actor anymore. They want the cheapest actor. So when I booked that American Primeval, they were able to negotiate a little bit. But since I ended up being out there for 6 months straight and not even going home, I ended up making a little bit more money. But dude, they at first offered me $50,000 to go out there and do 6 episodes of a show. That's fucking no money. What people don't factor in is they don't pay for your child care while you're out there. You got to get babysitters. And so eventually I think I ended up walking after 6 months. Like I made probably close to like 130 to 150,000, but you get taxed in both states. All the percentages I was telling you, by the time I was done with the show, I ended up literally breaking even. I made no money.
Fuck, dude.
That's what people don't realize. It's fucking crazy.
And living on that strength of this will open the door for the next gig.
Yeah, and guess what? It didn't. Back in the day, if American Primeval opened up 10 years ago, back in like the heyday of like, you know, still the heyday of like huge shows and stuff like that, like a Game of Thrones, before there was all these great shows on streaming services, I would have fucking been a series regular on something. Because it would have been the only show out there like that. But nowadays, there's so many good shows that nothing comes of it. All these people are like, dude, you're going to get your break soon. I'm like, I really don't think so, because I do these like cool shows and I think I do pretty good in them. Now, the last show I did, Criminal, which hasn't come out yet, I last worked in November 5th was the last time I worked. I think I've had 2 auditions total. It's fucking crazy. Because like I told you, the whole industry is collapsing, unfortunately.
If you could go back and do it differently, would you start on the internet and try to go that route and get in on the ground floor? Or would you still go the traditional route that your trajectory that you went?
You know, I started in 98. The internet was around, but dude, I still had like dial-up speed. Like when I got a computer, I'd go and plug the thing into my phone socket.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
just to
yeah.
get
Fuck
internet.
yeah.
So it wasn't really a thing back then.
True.
And obviously, if I can go back in time and get in on the ground floor and start doing that shit and building up a big following, yeah, of course. But us actors, we back in the day, we were always kind of like, we kind of hated the internet. We because it was there when the internet finally started, dude. They would like be like, hey, we're gonna shoot a commercial. It's just for the internet. We're only gonna pay you $100. I was like, $100? What the fuck, dude? I'm like,
Yeah, like what the
and
fuck?
now and yeah, and then they would be able to air it in perpetuity and not give you any money. So um
That's
so I don't know. I mean, but nowadays if you're getting started, yeah, dude, start with all the social media.
fuck
There's
yeah.
no reason to
No
go and
overhead.
start. Yeah, exactly. There's no reason you can, like I said, you can make a movie on your iPhone with like a
Yeah.
ring light.
Yeah.
That's it. And if you're a good writer and have a good personality, people are gonna see it and be like, "Hey, that's pretty good, man. I like the way that kid acts or talks or does something like that." You just never know. Like we were just talking about, just keep posting shit, throwing shit up against the wall. Eventually, hopefully, something's gonna stick, and maybe you can make a living at it.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, your post with the food, your post with the food seems to be your niche right now. And it's funny because I've developed this, I want to call it a game, but it's more or less a questionnaire, but I'm going to call it a game for the purpose of the show, right?
Yep.
It's called Best of the Best. And my game is simple here. Kyle Davis, I know you are a foodie and you have worked with some very prolific actors. So the best of the best would be, what's the best meal you've ever had with some of the best celebrities? Is a scoop of mac and cheese in the craft catering line with Colin Hanks better than having a cup of coffee with Charlie Day?
Gosh, let's see, man. I'm trying to think of because obviously at craft service and stuff, when you have a lot of those type of meals, uh, once again, people don't know that is a lot of like bigger celebrities will just go and eat in their trailer. So you're eating with the crew most of the time, hanging out, which I totally don't have a problem with. I bring this up, and it's the most recent show, American Primeval, is just because we were out there for so long, and you build up a camaraderie. So the actor in there I did most of the scenes with Jai Courtney, who was
Okay.
Boomerang and all those Marvel movies and shit like that.
Oh
But
yeah.
I remember it was me, Jai Courtney, Taylor Kitsch, and the director Peter Berg. We were just all sitting around the table, them eating their meat lunch, and me eating my fucking because they had awful craft service for vegans there, so I was eating like a fucking plain salad with a scoop of beans,
Oh,
and
it's
I
fucked.
remember just sitting there shooting the shit with them, just talking about regular everyday life, and yeah, I remember that, and it was just enjoyable, except for my food, unfortunately. But and then probably Jai throwing in a jab like, "Hey mate, you should fucking grab a rib and eat some meat, you fucking wanker," or something like that. But yeah, that shit's fucking funny. And then I'll tell you one other thing. So when I was doing Dexter, because Michael C. Hall is a very private person, and I think when
Okay.
I was doing that show was right when he was also probably going through his divorce,
It's
and I think
yeah.
he may have had cancer or beat it already. I don't remember. So I remember like just sitting there, and we were shooting in Long Beach, and we were up on this hill, and it was just a beautiful view of the ocean, and I was sitting there just enjoying the view, and he was sitting like directly across from me. We weren't even talking, but I was just sitting there eating my food, and I was like, "This is fucking crazy, dude. I'm sitting across this dude who fucking puts people in bubble wrap and kills them, eating my food, enjoying the fucking ocean view." That was just like kind of a surreal moment for me, man.
Yeah, but that's cool too because Dexter's character loved to fucking eat too. Kind of
Yeah,
have food
see?
involved in that quasi kind of fucking,
Yeah.
What what was Michael C. Hall's embrace like?
You talking about when he murdered me?
Yeah. What was that embrace? Did he do it delicately?
Well, I got another story about that as well, because I was one of the only people. I think there was probably maybe two who was killed not strapped down on the table with the
Yes.
cellophane. So, and I didn't know that because I'm not gonna lie, I never watched the show because
Oh wow.
I didn't have Showtime, and I didn't want to like spend money or whatever it was on.
Fuck yeah.
And as maybe a lot of people don't know, I have a permanent spinal cord injury where just makes my life a living hell. And so when we were rehearsing for that scene, I was like a little nervous about it because it was a very violent physical scene. And the stunt coordinator, he was this older dude, fucking idiot, not gonna lie. And I was trying to tell him about my spinal cord and how I've already had lots of stuff and I don't want to injure it more. And he's like, I have all that same stuff. And I was like, well, yeah, dude, you're a fucking stunt man. I'm not. I'm an actor, dude. So I don't want to fucking injure myself. And then I talked to the younger person. He's like, don't worry, we're gonna take care of you. So I remember I had to put this giant like pad on my back because he slams me up against the wall. But me and Michael sat there and rehearsed it because he knew all about it. He's like, don't worry, man. I'm gonna make sure I don't like hurt you, and you tell me if I'm like,
Nice.
going too hard or whatever. Because he grabs me around my throat when he's about to do all that stuff. But yeah, we rehearsed it, and his embrace was so gentle, my friend. It was lovely. And then we used obviously one of those prop knives where it just pushes in and all that good stuff. So yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. Michael C. Hall was a very gentle man, very quiet, but I can totally understand that. That's a lot of things that people don't understand too. Is I feel like a lot of actors get bad raps if people see him in the street. I just tell people you never know what kind of day anybody's going through. It doesn't matter if it's an actor
Human.
or a fucking human being. People like me, like from the outside, probably see like, oh, he looks fine, but inside, dude, my hands are constantly feel like there's buzzing in them. I feel like there's a billion ants crawling on my face because of my permanent spinal cord injury. So from the outside, people look and be like, oh, that dude's fine, but inside, I feel awful. So
True.
I try, even when I'm not feeling good, I try to just treat everybody nice. But I can understand when people snap and say, dude, I don't feel like talking right now or doing this shit. And then with cameras everywhere, people get a bad rap and like, that dude's a fucking asshole now. I'm like, dude.
No, I get it. Especially I couldn't imagine being like a Brad Pitt or somebody where you're like, hey
Oh,
man, oh what? Oh my God, insert whatever tragedy here. Well, I'll be there in 20 minutes. You go
yeah.
outside and somebody's like, hey, dude, my fucking daughter, what's happening? You're
Oh,
like, oh, dude, I gotta go. And then the next person's like, oh my God, remember that movie? And you're like,
oh,
fuck, I gotta go somewhere. And
yeah.
you do tend to explode. And it's the same thing as like, what's crazy about that to the naked eye? Celebrities in that kind of light, kind of like a Taylor Swift or a Brad Pitt type of person where they have no
Right.
fucking publicity or they have no privacy at all.
Right.
It's crazy the amount of restraint that they show. And even when they do blow up, just from a person like I consider myself to be like a very carefree, ha 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 kind of person, but I have a fucking temper. I'm just like every other person.
Right.
I want to say hereditary, but the long
Right.
line of fucking Irish temper guys in my
Yeah,
family.
for
And I'm,
sure.
so I could see if I was ever in that light where I would be like, got about 3 fucking seconds before my career goes downhill and
Yes.
you have a fucking beaten. Like people show a lot of restraint. And then on that one day, that unlucky person where they're like, hey man, fuck off, I'm doing something. Then they live to quote unquote tell the story of how he was a dickhead. And in
Yep.
reality, that guy probably does charity work because not because it's
Oh,
PR, but because he likes to do it. And you just
yeah.
happen to catch him on a day where is not he doesn't want to be that guy today. He wants to
A
be
hundred percent.
Bradley Pittman or whatever the
Well,
fuck,
and that's
you
why,
know?
honestly, people ask me all the time. They're like, "Dude, I hope you get like this big role and blow up." I'm like, "Dude, I don't want to be I personally, I would rather just win the lottery and go fucking retire or make the movies I want to do or shows I want to do.
Right.
I have no interest in being famous. It's awful. Like right now, I'm not. I'm like an F minus celebrity. And I can go and walk anywhere. If I go out to a bar, which I really don't go out to bars too much, I'll have people come up to me every once in a while, I'll be like, dude, Lil Kev. But I don't mind that. That's like cool. And they're always like respectful and let's drink a beer together. That's fine. But I could never imagine being so famous where if somebody came up to me and started like saying stuff with my daughter around, I would fucking probably smash their face in because I
Fuck
have a
yeah.
temper too. I mean, I'm fucking blind in one eye because I got beat up. My whole life was basically I was being a criminal and fighting and stealing and robbing. And so if shit like that happened when I was famous, if I got famous when I was a young age, I probably wouldn't have a career because I probably would have snapped, like you're saying, because I just don't. I don't tolerate people's bullshit. I just
Yes.
go off. The thing that I do have to have restraint for now online is when people would come and troll me before, I would snap back at them, be like, "Fuck you, motherfucker! I'll fucking beat your fucking ass, you piece of shit! Would
Right.
you ever fucking talk?" But then people would screenshot that and then go and put that on the page, and then I look like the fucking asshole.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look at him. Oh, he
Yeah,
can't take a fucking joke, and or whatever the case may be. So you don't
yep,
know people's true intentions. You don't know. He's
yeah.
just some fucking asshole behind the text. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, no, they would set it up too. But now I just literally respond back to people or block them. I just go, "Oh, thank you so much, man. I
Yes.
appreciate everything." Or I'm like, "Oh, you seem like a lovely person to be around," because more people they get angrier if you are nice to them, and that's what I found out.
Kill him with kindness type deal.
Yeah, really, and it 100% is true. And if you just don't respond or just kill him with kindness, you're like, "God damn it, he's not doing what I want him to do. I want him to get mad at me."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
You got 10 comments. You got 9 of them that are like, "Hey man, you're a great dude. I
yeah,
fucking love Lil Kev." And you put a love on every single one of those and go, "Thanks, thanks, thanks." And the one guy
yep,
that goes, "Hey, fuck you. You don't even acknowledge it." And that guy goes, "Oh, I guess he didn't see it. Let me write it again." Because now he's in his own fucking bag.
yep.
I find a lot of online trolls have a lot of negativity in their own life, and that's the only thing they can control is a
For
Tommy Two
sure.
Thumbs Thompson kind of fucking deal, you know.
Yeah.
I'm getting off topic here, but it blows my mind how you went into acting and how you didn't keep your ice sculpting business.
Damn, dude, you're jumping all the way back in there, huh? Yeah, dude, my ice sculpting business in a truck.
Yeah, dude.
You know what? So
Did-
I think that was because a lot of people thought that was for like a FedEx or something, but it was
right?
actually a TurboTax commercial.
Yeah. Watching the what was it, like 1000 to 2000, and it's so
Yeah,
funny. I
yeah.
remember the face you made. You're looking at the because this is back in the days, but people before everybody was like so it was like uncommon for people to still do that or start
Right,
do
for
their own
sure.
taxes. So like I just remember the look. You're like, yeah, looking at the computer,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I fucking got you
Oh.
today, Bucko.
Back in those days, you can make so much money. And the one good thing about that was because I did so many commercials, you would end up like befriended a lot of those commercial directors, and I would end
Right.
up doing so many commercials with them.
Nice.
They're just fucking cool ass dudes. I'm still friends with quite a few of them now,
Nice.
and they would eventually just be able to. It was so good to finally book one and become friends because they could be like, "Hey, dude," to the producer, be like, "I know you guys want this other guy, but I really want my friend. Please, he did this other commercial. He's perfect for it." If you have somebody fighting for you to get that job, it's amazing. Because if you
Hell yeah.
don't, because I used to always go into jobs, and I try to be a nice person in general. And every time when I first started, I'd always go into the jobs, just be super super grateful, not like too over grateful, like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for this." I just used to be like, "Hey, dude, seriously, man, I really appreciate you fucking giving me this job. I love you." And then I would always get the director's phone number afterwards because I would try to
Nice.
like make a relationship because I was always
Fuck yeah.
constantly me and my best friend and writing partner. We were always fucking writing our own shows, doing little improv skits, making shit. You got to just keep doing your own stuff. And then I was like, "Hey, dude, maybe down the road, one of my director friends can direct this for me or do stuff like that." So I was always just trying to make good relationships with everybody I can.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
only saying that because the guy who directed that TurboTax is my buddy Russ Lamoureux, and I've done like 5 commercials for him, and like
Nice.
this like little independent movie we did, all kinds of stuff. So
See, and that I from what I've gathered, to have somebody go in there and go to bat for you, it seems to be like half the battle too. You know what I mean? Because they're obviously looking for somebody, and if somebody's already involved in a project, whether they take it or not, they're going to invest more in that train of thought than they are somebody to go, let's start fresh. So I
yep,
that's and you know what, that's a smart thing to do because I know a lot. I mean, at least I don't know. I shouldn't say I know, but I would imagine a lot of people will be like, ha, I'll wait till somebody calls me, but to build that fucking connection with somebody
yeah,
on a human level does nothing but bring you up anyway.
yep. You got to do that. I'm with like a mid-sized agent. I've been with her for like 20 years. I love her. But like big agents, that this is what people don't know who aren't in the business, like ICM and William Morris, all these UTA. they fucking cast all these projects. So say if they have a director who's directing like the next like big movie, they'll do this thing called a packaging deal. They'll be like, hey, so if in this movie, if you're hiring my director, you have to literally hire all these other actors to go along with it, or we're not letting him get the job. So, and there'll be like smaller roles. I'll go in and audition for this role, which is so mad, and you put in all this time and effort doing the audition, and then you know that they're just going to give that role to one of these people's clients because it's a package deal. It's so frustrating. This is the side of the business nobody realizes, and it's such a fucking pain in the ass, man. It's such a bummer sometimes.
I've heard the expression from people that's been on the show that Hollywood is nothing but high school with money.
100%.
Okay, I imagine that's pretty accurate.
It's
right?
so true, man. It really is about who you know, and that's one thing in my life, and I wish I could have done better. I don't like like schmoozing, and I never went to
Yeah.
like a bunch of like crazy parties because I'm also like shy. I don't really, unless I like had some drinks. I'm just like shy. I don't really know what to say. I don't know how to like go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, how's it going? My name's Kyle." Blah blah blah. I just feel weird about that. So
Yeah.
a lot of my friends, they were like, I call them hipsters who lived in Silver Lake. Dude, some of them have huge careers now. They would go to these parties, fucking talk to people, make friends. I just was not really that type of guy. I was more the guy to like sit in the corner and drink a beer, and almost like a high school like prom or something like that. I was like the nerd who kind of sat by myself. I
The
just never really
wallflower in a
talked
way.
to people. Yeah, and then when I did finally book some big jobs and get invited to huge parties like Michael Bay parties and stuff like that,
Nice.
I literally destroyed all my bridges because I got blackout drunk and
Oh
did stupid
no.
shit. So
Dude, what's the biggest party you ever been invited to? Was it a Michael Bay party?
probably because it. So basically, it was just like a Christmas party. So Michael Bay is notorious for these big Christmas parties because I did two movies, like obviously Friday the 13th, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
before that movie, I did the remake of The Hitcher.
Okay.
And when I got that part, it was literally just one line. I was like this crazy redneck gas station attendant, and I said like, "Oh, here's the key." So we did one take like that. Like, here's the key, because I remember it was like 5 in the morning. The sun's coming up. They're like, we gotta fucking wrap this shit up. And the director, I don't want to dive too far into this because it's too long, but the director is this guy named Dave Myers, and I used to do fucking music videos for him as an extra when I first moved out here in 1998,
Nice.
and then he was the director of that. And he's like, "Hey Kyle, give me one of your own," because literally we did one take like that and then one of my own, and then he said, "Just improv it," and then I literally just improved all that shit, making up the shit about like milking a donkey and kicking me in my lazy eye and all the shit like that. And then I just thought, I was like, that's never going to be in there. And when they're in the editing room, Michael Bay owns the horror company Platinum Dunes, who made that movie, and he happened to be in the editing room and saw it. And he's like, "I fucking love that kid." He's like, "Keep every line in there." And
Oh,
then at
nice.
the premiere of that movie, we were at the party thing, and Michael Bay's like, "Kyle," and I was like, "Holy shit, Michael Bay knows my name." He's like, "Come hang out with me." And me and my girlfriend at the time, we literally hung out with Michael Bay and got hammered all night long.
Fuck yeah. What's he drink?
But he's not really like a big drinker, but he might have been drinking like shots or something because he's very like healthy.
Oh,
But
okay.
he probably was drinking like tequila or something like that.
Fuck
This
yeah.
is quite a while ago. This is probably 2009 or 8 or something like that. So then he just started invited me to his Christmas parties, and then they gave me the part in Friday the 13th, and then I went to the party one night with my friend, and I'm talking like huge people, like
Right.
Steven Spielberg was there, and I had already worked with Steven Spielberg on my first movie, Catch Me If You Can. But
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
I
yeah.
fucking had a small part, so he's not gonna know who I am. And I guess from what my friend was telling me, because I'm not joking, I remember like nothing because I was that hammered. And I guess I went up to Steven. I was like, hey, Steven, you remember I did that movie with me and Tom Cruise called Catch Me If You Can? And he's like,
Oh no.
He's like, you mean Tom Hanks? And I was like,
Oh.
yeah, Tom Hanks. And I was like this one guy, and he was like, alrighty.
Mm.
And then just walked away. And my friend, he was like, dude, I tried to stop you from embarrassing yourself, but he's like, you kept like pushing me away. And then eventually I had to like drag you out of there because you were like going around hugging people you don't know because I get happy when I'm drunk. Yeah, I guess I just burned bridges because I was never invited to a party again, and literally never worked for his company ever again.
Speaking of Tom Cruise and Christmas, have you ever had a piece of Tom Cruise's Hollywood Christmas cake?
I have not. First off, that cake is like super expensive.
That's what I hear.
Also, yeah, I think he's great in some of the parts. I just despise Scientology, so I hope you're not a Scientologist.
No, no, no.
Scientology has destroyed so many people's lives, including my cousin who I moved out here with. They literally
Oh shit.
stole like all of his trust fund. They're very
Wow.
predatory thing. They literally kidnap people and steal their money. So I'm just not a big fan of Tom Cruise because he's literally the head of Scientology.
Yeah.
So
Poster
even if I
child.
could, I wouldn't have a piece of this cake just because I hate Scientology.
Standing on ground. Fucking not
Yeah.
standing on ground, dude. Hey.
Hey man, I told you I come from the old school shit.
Fuck yeah,
If
dude.
somebody was talking shit, I would probably roll up on them and start a fight, and or I just don't eat or believe in what they pitch.
I'm quoting you here.
Okay.
You've said you are an F level
F minus.
F minus celebrity, right?
Yes.
However, I think you may be the only person that I can think of who has done a scene with both Tom and Colin Hanks.
Yeah.
Those are two big fucking names, dude. Those are I mean, you had a gun pulled on you by Tom and you've killed a whore with Colin. That's that to me is, I'm one of those guys where I look at shit like that and I go like, that's fucking crazy. You've been killed by fucking Jason, and in the deleted scene, which I think is better, you gave him his mask, and you've also been killed by fucking Dexter.
Yeah.
Two of America's favorite psychopathic fucking killers. You know, and it's like when you take away when you take away and break it all down, all the variables, the common denominator on this is you have a very special place in Hollywood that I don't even think you give yourself enough credit for. But that's just me.
Because well, truthfully, when I don't really watch horror movies. I watch them a little bit more now because I'm trying to get my daughter into like spooky stuff, and I do these horror conventions. But I'm not lying. Like when I first did like the Hitcher, which I've seen the old Hitcher back in the day. Me and my brother Ruckert Hauer and C. Thomas. That was fucking awesome. So I knew what I was getting into there. But Friday the 13th, I never watched those growing up.
Oh
So
wow.
when I did that, I'm so stupid. I wish looking back now because I would have fucking taken so much shit off the set, like stolen
Fuck
so
yeah,
much.
dude.
I just didn't think about it. When I was doing it, I even the producers they're like, this is a pretty cool like iconic part because you're going to be giving the mask to Jason, and
Yes.
I literally was like, oh really cool. I had no clue that I'd be
Wow.
sitting going to conventions. So when I was doing the part, it was just another job to me. And then now I look back on it and I'm like, holy shit. Same thing with Dexter. Never saw the show. I knew it was a big show, but when I was on there, I was just like, oh, this is fucking cool. It's another cool part to add to my resume, but I wasn't like, oh, this is amazing. I know I told you it was surreal sitting with Michael C. Hall, but only because I thought he was a good actor from like 6 Feet Under and stuff like that. But and Colin Hanks, I had already known him from parties because one of my old really good friends in this business is an actor named Martin Starr. If
Okay.
you know who he is, he's from Silicon Valley. He stars in Tulsa King now.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Fuck yeah. What was he in Silicon Valley? What was his name was
Uh, Garfoyle or
yeah, yeah, yep, yep, Guilfoyle.
Guilfoyle, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Hell yeah.
So me and Martin did a short movie way back in the day called Fish Burglars, and like some like independent movie, and that was like probably 2001 or two or something like that. So I've known Martin forever, and so he used to go to these. Dude, I used to hang out with all these cats before they were famous, like all like Seth Rogen, Charlie Hunnam, Colin Hay, all these people would go to these parties, and I didn't even. I mean, I kind of knew who they were a little bit because they'd done like Freaks and Geeks and shit like that. But
Yeah, hell
it was
yeah.
just fun to go to those things. And I remember seeing Colin there. I wasn't like friends with him. I was more of acquaintances with him. But when I got the part with Colin on there, I was like, "Hey, dude, I've met you at parties before." And he's like, "Oh yeah, what's up, dude? I'm friends with Martin because that was the common denominator."
I think he's a good actor, man. I fuck with
Dude, I,
Pawley.
I think he's
I
fucking
like the whole
great, man.
the demeanor of him. Like he's I don't know, plays on like this straight guy. I don't know what they call that, like straight edge kind of guy, like
Yeah.
the dry, I guess.
Yeah, dude,
I don't know.
he's
He's
fucking
good.
great in Fargo and stuff like that. I don't know if you saw Fargo, but he was really
Yeah.
good in that. He's
Oh
good in
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of movies. He's awesome. The other thing is like I think probably a lot of other actors probably watch a lot more TV shows or movies. So when a lot of people are like, "Oh, dude, have you seen this?" Or especially when I go to horror movies, they're like, "What's your favorite kill in Friday the 13th Part 2?" I'm like, dude, I've literally never seen it. They're like, "What's your favorite kill in your movie you've done?" I was like, "I've never even seen the whole thing through. I've seen my parts because I have to edit it for like demo reels and shit." And you
Right.
could see their face just go, "I don't like him anymore." Because he's not like me. And a lot of other people, they'll ask me questions on here and be like, "Hey, dude, remember that one line from this?" I was like, "I've never seen it. I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't watch a lot of shows.
Right.
I tend to watch sports or documentaries. That's just my type of jam." But the one thing that me and my wife and daughter finally did, we sat down and we binge watched like Stranger Things, and I fucking love that show.
You shit, what was I gonna say? Something about you said Stranger Things right before that.
I loved how you just did the thing that you just went, it's this funny line like, "So you you like that thing over there?" Maybe I think it might have been from SNL skit with Chris Farley when he's interviewing
Oh jeez.
Paul
Yeah.
McCartney, and he's like,
Oh,
you're like one of the Beatles, remember? And he's like, "Yes, I am, Chris." Fucking love that shit.
bro, I just want you to know with you saying that inadvertently, my wife is going to shit all over me now because she makes a joke about that. She goes, just as long as you're never the Chris Farley guy going, remember the Beatles? Yeah, that was cool. Bro,
Dude.
fuck.
Well, first off, I love Chris Farley and I love the old school SNL. It was my jam, and dude, Chris Farley was just fucking hilarious, dude.
Oh, he was the best. That's I seen we listened to a Fly on the Wall podcast with
Oh
David
yeah,
Spade
yeah,
and Dana
yeah,
Carvey.
for sure. I love
And
that.
when they did the Gap Girls, and he was like, "Get off me, I'm starving." And
Yes, dude.
Dana Carvey said that, or not Dana Carvey, David Spade said he actually wrote that line and told it
Oh
to him
really?
right before. Yeah, he told it to him right as they went out to do it. And he said this, and me and my wife were like, no, there's no way. If you go back today and watch that scene, as Chris Farley is saying that line, look at David Spade, and he's mouthing the line to make
That's
sure that he
fucking
says it. And he's like, "Get off me, I'm starving." And it came from David Spade, dude. So I was like,
I
and that's like
fucking
so,
David Spade. I thought David Spade is so fun. I love him. He has that like fast wit and like dry sense of humor, and he's always just making fun of people. I think he's fucking hilarious.
he's fucking beast. And plus, he's withstood the test of time too for Hollywood. You know what I mean? A
He
lot of
has,
people
dude.
like fade out or whatever, and he's always just like that. Let's look at a clip, like
Yeah, yeah. He's honestly always just been around,
yeah.
always just sticking around, doing TV shows, doing comedy specials. Obviously, because he's good friends with Adam Sandler, he's in every one of his movies.
Oh yeah.
But it stands a true test of time because he's fucking funny. That's why he's been around for a long time.
Fuck yeah.
There's always people who maybe come on the scene and they're good for a little bit, but they fade out because they either give up or they just they don't really they don't really change with the whole, because obviously everything changes so fast with what
Right.
words you can say, what jokes. Obviously I know that because Lil Kev, which is they took
Yeah.
my episode off the air for years and years off a lot of things. They recently put it back on certain streaming like Hulu and
Yeah.
stuff, which I totally understand, which is why I don't say that word anymore. And when I do it, because I sign a lot of autographs for people and like, "Hey, can you write the," and I'm like, "I can't, dude." And some people are like, "Man," they get all angry and like, you got to stop being so woke." I was like, dude, it's not even about being woke or whatever you want to call it. It's just about some words change, and just be respectable to people. I don't want to
Just being
fucking
polite.
sign it for you because I don't want you to put it on social media and then I look like a fucking piece of shit.
All right.
And some people totally understand, but I've had people at conventions like, "Well, that's fucking dumb." Like, well, don't buy it then. I don't care, dude.
Fucking plumbers.
Yeah, it's a fucking play, right? Good callback right there. Probably is like, well, I sat on my toilet. Go sit on it again, you fucking cocksucker. Like, stupid, man.
My Chris Farley moment came 360. I remembered what it was going to be.
Okay.
It was actually two things. I've heard you speak before about you tore your ACL and so you couldn't skateboard. Um, would that have been your dream job? To be a professional skateboarder?
100%. Like, right around the time, I think probably like 11-ish, I got like a real skateboard. I don't even know how it worked. I saw some kids skateboarding, got a skateboard, and my older brother, we started just really getting into it. And we fell like hard and fast for it because we moved to Apple Valley, not too far from Las Vegas, literally in the middle of the fucking desert. It was just awful. And we started skateboarding and we built our own little ramp in the yard. And then we just started watching videos and I started getting pretty good pretty fast. And I was like, man, I fucking love this. Then this is what happened though. Then the real life started setting in. And I was like, I got to get a job to make money. So then I started working as a waiter or a busser, building a house with my dad. But I still really wanted to do it. And then when I moved to California to be an actor or whatever, I literally drove back to Arizona because I would go see family, and I went to go skateboard in a pool, and I jumped off and tore my ACL, and then that was the end
Oh
of it.
fuck.
That's what really pushed me to want to be an actor even more, because I was like, now I don't have anything to really like live for. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, I love skateboarding.
Growing up, who'd you look at? Were you a Hawk guy? Were you Steve Cabriello? Like who was your
Well, I
guys?
mean, those were really old school because I didn't really skate. Like, I was still skating with an old school board on my knee back then. But yeah, I loved, like, obviously Steve Caballero and Tony Hawk and
Yeah.
all them back then. But when I really got into skateboarding, I loved all these skaters like Daewon Song and obviously Jason Lee and people like that. For me, like working with actors, I just feel like it's like, hey, what's up, dude? Another common person. But like meeting like sports people or people like that, I'm like, because that's what I love. So I'm like, oh, that'd be fucking cool. Like, I'd probably ask an autograph for that person.
You ever been starstruck working with somebody?
Well, yeah, at the very beginning, because like I was saying, like, dude, my one of my very first movies ever was Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I guess so. Tom Hanks, yeah, with that, yeah, like, something like that.
So right when I got there, I'm so fucking nervous and so green as an actor. I mean, this is back in like 2001 or something, right? I get on set and it's like a big scene because you see they have like all these extras and people running out, like probably like 150 people. So it's a very big scene. I was like, I don't want to fuck this up. And I remember Steven Spielberg, I finally get to set and he starts walking out and he's always puffing his cigar. And he comes up to me, he's like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? And I was like, hey, it's Kyle. So nice to meet you, Steven. He's like, Carl? I was like, it's Kyle. He's like, okay, Carl. I was like,
Ah,
yeah, you can call me Carl, bro. I don't give a fuck. And then Tom
fuck
Hanks
yeah.
comes up, starts talking to me and all this stuff. And I had already kind of known that we had the same birthday. But I was so nervous and I was like, oh, what do I even talk to him about? And he came up, couldn't be nicer, introduced himself. And I was like, hey, Tom, this is probably weird, but me and you have the same birthday, July 9th. And he's like, well, happy birthday. And dude, he just fucking super cool. One of the most down to earth guys I've ever met. And I know a lot of people nowadays are always, bringing a lot of the saying like, oh, he's like a fucking child. I'm sure you've heard all that stuff now with all these people talking about this shit. Because I get asked about it all the time. They're like, oh, so did you go to all these Tom parties and go like molest kids and shit? I'm like, shut, dude, you don't even know what the
yeah,
fuck
right.
you're
Like, what
talking.
the fuck?
It's like, dude, he went from like being known as one of the nicest actors around to now they got this rumor spread about shit like that. And listen, I don't know him from the next person, but from my interaction with him, he was very nice. And from what I know, he didn't go to any fucking weird parties and do that shit. But I could be wrong, but I don't fucking know. These are the type of questions I get in my DMs all the time. No, from people.
Oh, I believe it.
I don't even respond to them anymore. I'm just like, delete whatever, you fucking idiot.
Maybe I'm a fucking asshole, but in the heyday, if Diddy invited me to a party, I'd go.
Court, bro.
I mean, let's be
Yeah.
fucking real about it. Like, yeah, of course you're gonna go at least once to either go, oh, I had a blast, or you'll never guess what the fuck I seen. But either way, I'm
Also,
going.
bro, I'm sure I know there's a lot of people who went to Diddy parties who didn't see the stuff that really happened there, because
Right.
they would have like the Diddy parties where they would have like the stuff people would see from the outside, like,
Yeah.
hey, do this. And then those like really famous or not, people, they would go home and then they'd keep a couple of them who were like, hey, let's get in that
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, a lot
Fuck
of
yeah.
people went to Diddy parties, but a lot of them didn't participate in that type of stuff.
Right.
As far as, and once again, I'm just speculating because I don't really have like famous friends. I never like sought out like to be famous or go hang out with those type of people in the first place. So
It's just if they came and see your life, if you cross paths, you cross paths. Type of deal.
yeah, I mean, I thought it was like cool, but I wasn't going to like, I was never going to like these giant Hollywood parties like people ask me about all the time. Sure, I went to a couple like cool big parties and stuff, but for me, they weren't even that cool because I wasn't talking to anybody. I was just sitting there being like, I mean, there's some famous people around, but I'm not going to talk to them. So
Right.
it's nothing for me to get excited about.
Something curious, and this is just the stoner in me. You said it, and I know it was a while ago. I'm aware it was a long time ago, but you had said that you would go to these parties back in the day, like where you had met Seth Rogen, where you had interacted with Colin
Right.
with your buddy Martin. You ever smoke weed with Seth Rogen?
I did. And like back then, because like I didn't really smoke a lot of weed, honestly. Brief story, and then I'll tell you how I got in there. So back when I got beat up and became blind, it kind of changed my whole life because I was doing lots of drugs, fucking partying nonstop, drinking, doing bad shit after I got beat up and became blind. So yeah, I just changed my whole life, and I was like, what am I doing, man? Like I'm fucking like I was doing like meth and doing all kinds of stuff. I was like, I need to change my fucking life. Like I am fucking blind in my eye now. Like I could have been dead. And I was like, I quit everything cold turkey, stopped doing drugs, stopped smoking weed. And so when I moved out to LA, I really didn't smoke weed anymore at all. And then when I would go out with my friend Martin and stuff like that and go hang out at those house parties, I would like take like a couple of hits here and there. I wasn't like getting like super blazed up. It's so funny. It was like, cause I had kind of been sober for a while besides like, drinking a few beers here and there. And I remember thinking like, they're all getting high now. I feel like I'm going to be like sucked into like smoking weed. So it wasn't even like for me, like a cool thing. I was like, oh, now I'm going to be pressured into this. It would almost
Fucking
felt like a
peer
weird
pressure
high
in it.
school. Yeah. So I remember getting high because then I also felt I would get very into myself and feel awkward, or I would think I was feeling awkward. So I was like, God damn it. So it wasn't
Right.
even like a really cool experience for me back then. But now I look back on it and all those fucking guys are all so famous now. It's insane. Because another one like Charlie Hunnam, yeah, we used to all blaze it up back in the day. And the crazy
Nice.
thing is that show Criminal that I did that's coming out, he's the star of it. I never actually worked with him on Criminal though, because it's an 8-part miniseries and he's in the first 4 parts and I'm in the second 4 parts. I saw him and we had some stuff in common because we worked with the same director on this movie called named Lexi Alexander. She directed this one movie he did called Green Street Hooligans with him and Elijah Wood back in the
Elijah
day.
Wood. Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, so I was like hoping to like reminisce when I saw him again. Then when I saw the call sheet, I was like, oh damn it, I'm not even gonna work with him again.
That's fun.
But yeah, man, we had a blast back in those days, and now all those dudes are famous as shit, and Seth is still blazing it up like no tomorrow.
Oh yeah, dude. It's funny. Like I said, that like my vice in life, I'm a pot smoker. So
Right.
you said Seth Rogen. I'm like, oh man, I wonder if he ever smoked with Seth. Like, it's just the what pops in your head. Like, fuck yeah,
Well,
dude.
I have
'Cause-
one other thing because I didn't really like Seth or any of those guys. No,
right.
because I like to make this clear when I do different podcast stuff because people automatically are like, oh, so you're friends with them. No, I just
Oh
was at a
yeah.
party. These are all acquaintances. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because
Absolutely.
I always hate, one of my biggest pet peeves is when like people, like if you're an extra or a background person, it's like, oh, I've worked with all these people. I'm like, no, you haven't. You literally were in the background. You didn't
Right.
talk to. I get really upset when people lie about stuff because I'm like, dude, come on, man. It's not true, and I can always tell when people are telling fibs. That's why I always like to make stuff when I post stuff. I'm like, this is not my friend. I've just acquaintances. I've always, only been around with them.
If I was talking to you when we were talking and this was a whole different conversation and you were talking to me about Catch Me If You Can, it's safe to assume that you would tell somebody I've been in a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, but I have not acted with Leonardo DiCaprio.
100%, because people all the time, they say, well, I mean, a little bit of that, because people will say, oh, hey, have you ever been in a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? I'll be like, yeah. But I'm like, they're like, did you ever meet him? I'm like, I didn't, because I was playing him and he was on set that day, but he was in his trailer. So I only met Tom Hanks and, Steven and all the other people in there. I can understand. Listen, everybody's told little white lies here and there. When you're first coming up in the acting game, honestly, it was all about putting on a persona, like pretending like
Fuck yeah.
you've done a lot of stuff, pretending that you had money, because if you didn't, then people would be like, oh, you're a fucking loser. You're an actor and you don't even have money. So yeah, I used to put on this persona, and every actor you ask this back in the day will tell you the same thing. I used to say I had more money than I did all this stuff, because it was all about, judging a book by its cover in that business.
Right.
So if I was going out and didn't have a nice car or doing stuff like that, people would be like, oh, that guy's a loser. We don't want him hanging out with us. And it's fucking so true. It's just like that movie Swingers, when Jon Favreau goes up to that really fancy party and she's like, what kind of car do you drive? And he's like, oh, I have like a Chevy Cavalier. And she just walks away. That's how that shit was in Hollywood. And thankfully nowadays, now that a lot of people know that most actors aren't rich, I have no problem now just telling people like, no, I'm fucking broke, or I live like the rest of the people. You just see me on TV.
It's like fucking grocery shopping, dude. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's
Like,
why I
fuck.
started posting my everyday life on Facebook and TikTok, so people can kind of see that and be like, oh shit, dude, like you like the same stuff I do, or you do the same stuff. Like, yeah, man, I'm relatively a normal person. I just talk to a lot more people, and I'm on a screen every once in a while.
You have a lot more. You have a lot cooler of a job.
When I get the job, I do. But yeah.
What's your look, let me ask you a question. I'm gonna be honest with you. We're having a great thing here,
Fuck yeah.
but I have a question I want to ask you.
Okay.
Back when you were a single man, you ever meet a female that wanted to fuck Lil Kev? Or that wanted to fuck a character. So they go, hey Kyle, hey, right before you smash in me, can you get in character?
I only have one story. It's not even really a character thing, but I'm trying to think. Like when remember MySpace?
Yeah.
So MySpace, dude, I used to treat that like a dating site. And
Hell yeah.
I would like go on there, like, try to look for dates, and they'd be like, so what do you do? And I had done a lot of commercials and a few TV shows and movies. And I was like, oh, I'm an actor. They're like, oh, you mean you're a waiter? And I was like, no. And I was like, I've been in this and this and this and this and this. And they would like look it up or see it. And they're like, holy shit. And then literally get a date out of that and then end up hooking up or whatever. But I've never like done that. My wife is like standing right there.
I apologize.
She's leaving now. Bye. I'll let her shut the door and tell the rest of the story. Okay, now she left. So it was very awkward saying that. So so MySpace, I used to fucking bang, dude. It was honestly the best thing ever before pre-dating sites. And just be like, yeah, I was in this national commercial, and they'd be like, dude, that's awesome. And then just used to hook up all the time. So I was over her house, and we were hanging out, and we were watching TV, and we had just like smoked a joint together and had a glass of wine, and we were watching TV, and one of my commercials came on.
Fuck yeah.
One of my commercials came on, and she got so excited, and so did I a little bit. And we were watching it, and then she just fucking started kissing me, and we started banging it out right there.
There it is.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah, it was just a fun time.
It was a pleasurable experience, no matter who it was.
It was, and it was pleasurable enough I remember that, because back in the days, I did have a lot of commercials running, but it was still rare to all of a sudden be watching TV and be like, oh shit, my commercial's on.
Yeah.
Right when I happened to be sitting on the couch with this delightful young lady, so it was fucking awesome. I could tell like she wanted to be an actress as well, and I could just see her like light up, and then she was just like, oh, and I was like, oh yeah, baby.
It's going down now.
This is happening tonight, my friend. So
Hey, you like this movie?
Yeah, right. Well, honestly, this was before Lil Kev character even. So
Damn, that's the shit.
I'll tell you the brief story about like Lil Kev. You know, that was such a small show, and it came on there in episode 3, which I had already watched the show, so I liked the show. But when I got on there and did the character, I had no idea that fucking all these years later, off doing 2 episodes, it would be this fucking super iconic role that
Right.
keeps living on forever and ever and
Oh
ever.
yeah.
I mean, I've been working for 27 years and I've done tons of shows. It's the only thing I'm ever known for. Now I kind of embrace it. But at
Right.
first, for a while, I was like, yeah, but I've been on this and this and this. And
Right.
the one thing that still hurts a little bit is and I know people are trying to be sincere, is they'll be like, dude, I just saw you in American Primeval. But man, all I could see when you were doing it is Lil Kev. And I was like, well then shit, man, I didn't do my job right. And they're like, no, I didn't mean it like that. And I was like, well, you kind of did. I get butthurt about it, which I shouldn't, but
No, I get it though, because you're like total 180. It's a total opposite character. Like,
yeah.
damn, if you're seeing that resemblance, then oh, what could I have done different kind of deal.
Well, that's why, truthfully, when I do some type of like drama shows, I have to like consciously watch how I smile, because I'm not joking. Because when I smile, I instantly become a little kid. And I know, and I have that very distinctive laugh because that's how I really laugh
Right.
when I'm laughing. So when people ask me to like laugh or do something, I'm like, fuck, man, I got to try to do like a non-Lil Kev laugh or stuff like that, because I don't want to be known as that. So I gotta work on that type of stuff. But
And you know what though? 90% of that is all probably in your head too. You know what I mean?
oh, I probably for sure.
It's all like, but in terms of like, we make mountains out of molehills with ourselves. We're like our own worst critic. So I can see that.
Well, and honestly too, is because I live in a very small niche community. I'm talking about like my own little Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Right,
So those
right.
are the only people I'm talking about. But a lot of people, when they see me outside of this, they don't have, dude, most people have no idea what Always Sunny is.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's a very neat show. Like my parents would have no idea what it was they don't even know what it is now. They're like, hey Kyle, did you do a Sunny thing or something like that? We've never seen it before. Because here's the quintessential thing: when you're in a bar and you're talking to people, and you get in the conversation, you drink a little bit, they're like, so what do you do anyway? And back in the day, because I just kind of got sick of talking about it, I would just make up a lie and be like, oh, just a fucking like real estate person, or do shit like that. Because then the conversation would end really fast. Wouldn't have to do it. Now I don't mind that. But right away, they're like, oh, what movies you been in, if you tell me you're an actor? And the worst thing is you're sitting there going down a list. I was like, well, I was in this. And they're like, never heard of it. I was in this, never heard of it. And I'm like, well, why'd you fucking ask me, dude? I don't want to sit here. I'm like, go look me up on IMDb and maybe you've seen some stuff. Because all
Right.
you're doing is hurting my feelings when I told you 10 things and you've never seen them.
Yeah, trying to play the fucking $20,000 pyramid
Yeah,
pyramid.
yeah,
with them.
seriously. It's like
what
the
fuck?
20,000 pyramid questions. I'm like, okay, I'm over it now. Nowadays, it's very easy because I have a phone. They could be like, what have you been in? And I'm like, here's a little demo reel. Have you seen anything? And they either say yes or no, and then I go about my day.
Like you're saying, you live in this world, that you've kind of created out for yourself, and you've kind of, took it, ran with it, and built this community.
Right.
But what's
Yeah.
crazy is that when it spans and it goes to cons, like, even though you may not be the biggest horror fan yourself, or even, would consider yourself to be a horror fan, the fact that
Right.
you're embedded in that community will always give you a lifeline. To you at the time, obviously now, I like you said, shit, if you knew then what you knew now, like the dawning of it, but you're the guy who gave Jason his mask, and a lot of people that are huge, fucking Friday the 13th fans, like, I'm sure, that's something big, man. You always have that cult following. So I feel
For
in
sure.
that sense, there you go. Cons will always be successful for you, I believe.
I do embrace cons and stuff, and I've only done like 5, honestly. Here's the shitty thing. Dude, if I could, I would be doing conventions every week. The problem is now, which is, it sucks for me and a lot of other actors, is now that our whole entire industry is collapsing.
Right.
Dude, it used to be easier to get into conventions because they'd be like, oh, this guy's been in a lot of stuff. I'm not joking when I tell you this. Like, big time stars, they're not working anymore. Like, things are crumbling. Dude, the cons now have their pick of the litter, and they only bring about 40 to 50 people to conventions.
Right.
So my convention agent's like, dude, because I'm like, dude, why haven't I been in a con? He's like, because now they used to have hundreds of people to pick from. Now they have thousands people who are
Yeah.
willing to do stuff for no guarantees. And it's like, oh shit, like big stars, like, oh, I'll come and do it because they know they'll make like $10,000-$20,000. And then the
In a
convention can be
weekend,
like,
yeah.
hey, this person's coming from so and so, and then they can sell more tickets because all they care about is money. So no joke, I haven't been able to do a convention in forever. So it sucks for me. So which is why I'm embracing my social media stuff. I'm trying to create my own fucking world here with this
Fuck
stuff
yeah, dude.
because nobody's gonna do it for me like we talked about earlier. I'm like, dude, I gotta make money. So I'm going on these things, platforms, showing myself, selling myself. You're always gonna have the haters saying, "Oh, you're selling your soul out for Little Kev. I can't believe you're milking this character." And I'm like, "Fuck you, dude." I was like, just think about it in this way. I was like, have you owned a business for 20 years? Do you still fucking
Right.
promote that fucking your business and your agency and all that stuff? And I'm like, well, yeah. I was like, that's what I'm doing. My business card is the roles I've played. And
Yep.
they're like, oh, I never thought about it like that. I'm like, yeah, because you didn't fucking think about it or do your research.
Exactly. Yeah, because why? Because somebody's being a fucking hater because you have now given something that you did a while ago a second life, and
Yeah.
now more people are catching on, and you're taking something and not only embracing it, but giving the how I said earlier, like the kind of the behind the sausage is made. Like you said, you post your daily life
Yeah.
with people when you're building this community with people. Those are the people, those are those fucking plumbers that are mad that they have to go punch a clock. I punch a clock
Yeah.
every day. Would I rather be on fucking any TV show a couple years ago and sell an 8x10 glossy with my fucking face on it? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regardless of who they
Yeah.
are. I'm a firm believer in 90% of the people that talk shit online are very unhappy with their life. And that's the
For
only thing they
sure.
can control. Which is the great mantra of, fuck them, Like,
Yeah.
fuck them and feed them rice. My uncle used to say, fuck them and
Exactly.
feed them rice. I'm like, yeah, sure, man.
No, and like, dude, I'm because honestly, I was approached like 10 plus years ago to do conventions. Like back in like the mid 2000s, my career, like, it was never like huge, but for me as a working actor, dude, I was working like all the time. Like I was booking. Like in the year 2011, I fucking booked like 15 TV shows. I was reoccurring on American Horror Story. I was doing Dexter. I was doing huge shows. Then I got a big part on like basically not a series regular, even though I was on every episode of that show enlisted. I was doing commercials, and I thought doing conventions was the death of somebody's career because I was like, because honestly back then I was like, oh man, if you're doing conventions, you're a loser. That's what I
Kind of
was
on your
thinking.
way out type
I
deal.
had that mindset, which is so dumb to think back then. Because I remember a friend was like, "Hey, dude, you'd probably make a killing at conventions." I was like, "That's for people whose careers are over." I was so naive, such a bummer that I would think like that. But that's once again, it's all part of growing up, changing, looking outward in the world, and trying to fucking make money and do shit like that. Like, thank goodness for that. You know that thing called Cameo app?
Yeah, yeah, fuck yeah.
Dude, I was fucking putting in so much work doing this Little Kev thing, making these. I had like 8 Lil Kev pages. I was trying to promote it. I was making no money. I was signing like random headshots of myself, sending it out to people. I was doing paintings, writing raps for people, all for free. I was spending thousands of dollars of my own money on postage, trying to build this character
Oh
up.
no.
And I was doing nothing was happening. And then Cameo app came out. I was like, oh fuck, dude, this is finally my moment where I can make some money off this shit. And then right when I got on there, that's when COVID hit. And dude, that thing took off for me because I've done like 2,000 Lil Kev cameos.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah, dude, that's done well for me.
What's the I'm so curious to know what is the cut Cameo takes. Let's say I buy a message from you. Let's say it's how much would a message be like that I would pay?
So this is why I always tell everybody to book off cameo.com and not the app. Cameo takes 25%, which is fine. What's fucked up is good old Apple. They own the platform that the app is on. Apple takes 35% cut, and then
Plus
Cameo
the
takes
25.
25%. So if
Fuck.
you book it off the app from me, they're taking 60%.
Plus you're paying your taxes.
Yeah, I write the people. I'm like, hey man, I can't do your Cameo. you got to cancel it and rebook me on the website. And I sent him a screenshot. I even said in capital letters, and then I explained to him why, because I take out so much money, and then it's not even worth me doing it.
That's, because I've seen people put that on there, scrolling the site, being like, oh, that's fucking wild. Whoever the fuck is on here, like, wow.
Yeah,
And then it's like, don't book me. And that's something crazy to know. I don't think a lot of people understand why.
that's the thing. That's why I like releasing the secrets, I guess, from behind the
Yeah.
scenes that everybody who's in this business knows. But when you don't, because
Yeah.
like I said, everybody just thinks like, oh, they're so rich, 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 rich. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, dude, I get like 28% of my money. And then you got to
Yeah.
try to survive off that. Cameo is not as big as it used to be now. Like my biggest times are like obviously during like holidays, like Christmas and stuff like that. Nowadays, now that I'm building my platform, like after this, I got to go do one. I did one yesterday for somebody's fantasy league,
Oh,
football
nice.
league. And a lot of people want me because I only do the cameos as Lil Kev. I don't do them as myself,
All right.
which I like doing because I like to just keep it like specific to that stuff. And I go on there and I'm a 5-star rated man because if somebody's gonna pay for something, I'm gonna make it fucking awesome, bro. So it's a thing in Always Sunny, like, Dennis is a 5-star guy. So when I go and post that shit on like my Facebook, I'm like, hey dude, your baby boy Lil Kev is a 5-star man. So come book me on Cameo, baby. So stuff like that.
Hell yeah. It's great, man.
Dude, I'm a hustler. I'm trying to hustle and make something happen for myself.
Fuck yeah. Having that extra money, did you get right going back to the Chris Farley thing, right? When you having that extra money, when did you start getting back into Garbage Pail Kids?
Dude, all that extra money that I blew in Vegas. The funny thing is, I didn't even start getting back into them until literally a few weeks ago, the beginning of August or June.
Oh shit. Nice.
Because I don't have any money to spend on stuff because I got a kid and got to pay rent, all that shit. But I was
Oh
just
yeah.
scrolling through TikTok late at night, as most people do, and all of a sudden, because there's, like you said, Garbage Pail Kids are coming back into the whole
Fuck yeah.
sphere and like really making a comeback. And somebody was ripping an old school pack, and all of a sudden, I went down a rabbit hole one night and watched hours of Garbage Pail Kid breaks and stuff, and I gotta buy some. Literally the next day, I was on eBay Googling how much I can get them for. I went to my local card shop, bought a whole bunch of blaster boxes, and I've been doing stuff I shouldn't be, buying boxes and packs and ripping them all the time now because I'm literally got addicted.
Hey man, it's a good addiction to have. It's a better addiction than most,
Honestly, it's a better addiction than like, doing drugs or gambling
Hell
and stuff
yeah.
like that because at least you have something physical you can look at.
Yes.
And even if you want to like make and like, which I love now, I follow a bunch of Garbage Pail Kid groups. I love how people are on there who are like, hey man, I would love to sell this or this. I don't even want like, max value for it. I just want to be able to get some more money to buy another box of cards. And I'm like,
Yep.
dude, that's the shit I love. Like I would, if I get like a good hit and it's something I can make a little like money to buy another box, I would
Hell
do
yeah.
that in a heartbeat because it's fun. It's all about just opening more and showing stuff. And I personally love the fucking artwork. And
Yeah.
lucky for me, because I guess I'm, like I said, semi known as an F minus celebrity, I've actually been able to reach out and befriend quite a few Garbage Pail artists. And now I'm
Nice.
friends with them. So now I'm like messaging, I'm like fanboying over here. I'm like, dude, I fucking love your fucking work, bro. Like I grew up with this shit. Like that stuff gets me going. This also like MLB cards. I'm friends with this one guy now, Juan Rollis. Him and his wife are amazing sketch artists who do all like these huge sketch cards for MLB and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's the type of stuff I've been fanboying on lately.
If you were a Garbage Pail character, what would your name be?
Here's the thing, and I already have it's in the works right now because like I said, I'm friending some people. And so
Ah, shit.
my nickname growing up from people who were making fun of me because I was kind of a nerd, they called me Kyle the Poop Pile. So I think there should,
Shit.
dude, I already have the whole design of the card. I just think
Oh.
there could be the Kyle sitting on this steaming pile of shit. You know what I'm talking about? And like adding some stuff like, dude, I think
Oh,
that's gonna be fucking dope.
dude. Poop pile Kyle, dude. That's
I'm
fucking
also
great,
gonna
dude.
because I've had a lot of people reach out to me who are designing cards and stuff like that, and I think I'm gonna do like a one like a 1 out of 5 card, like 4 different things, and I'm gonna do like 4 different designs of Lil Kev and then
Nice,
autograph them. I think those would sell pretty good.
dude. Especially if you did, like you're saying, you have the 5 designs, but if you had those 5 designs and you sold them in mystery packs, and then you're
That
like,
would
hey, you might get a Kyle Davis autographed one. You might get a regular one. You might get a one of one. But if you did your own little and you did all your characters, bro. I mean, I know you're
Bro,
going on
that
the
would, well, yeah,
Kev,
some
but
of the stuff you got to be careful with because I don't know how copyright works. So some of that, a lot of that stuff is like public domain, especially if you're drawing it. Lil Kev is all public domain because, dude, before they did that show, you know how many rappers are named Lil Kev?
yeah.
Thousands,
And
thousands.
plus, there's the parody law as well, where if you're celebrating something or an anniversary or doing a parody, like it's protected.
Yeah, that's why nowadays there's a lot of stuff because a lot of people reach out and be like, dude, I would fucking draw those cards for you. And I'm like a really good artist. And I was like, huh, dude, maybe that would be fucking cool. So I don't know. It's still something in the works. The
That's
other thing
fucking
I'm
cool
also
though.
doing before we get off the topic of Garbage Pail Kids is my friend Rick. He's an amazing artist and he does like different designs on hockey masks. Like he just did this, but he does a lot of like
Oh,
crazy
nice.
cool designs like of sports teams and stuff. And we're gonna do a collab where we do a hockey mask with Lil Kev face on there with the popcorn. And I think it's gonna be a fucking huge thing at conventions
People, yeah, people would love that, dude. That'd be a great matchup.
for
I think
sure.
that's going to sell. Fuck yeah,
Okay, let's
especially
get
going
back
to
on the
convention.
GPK.
Shit. Like I'm one of those people where I like anything but sports cards almost. I'll buy sports cards, I'll buy some baseball cards, but I find that nowadays not collectors, but like breakers, the huge like you were saying you were watching the garbage pail breaks. A lot of the big breakers get a lot of the big hits. They do,
Yeah,
record numbers with these companies, so they get loaded boxes and shit. And I find that with sports cards, it's a true needle in a fucking haystack.
yeah,
So I've been, mainly on like the Marvel kick lately, the Garbage Pail Kid, a lot of comic related. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Friday the 13th that you were in, that Jason was Derek Mears, was that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got a one of him. So I got
You
your
did?
killer, man. Yeah. And, you
Oh
should
shit.
you should try to get in on that. The brand is Leaf and
Okay.
the product itself is called Pop Sensory.
So they just have like all like everybody.
All celebrity, like this right here is the Royal Tenenbaums, Danny
Oh,
Glover, Ben
dude.
Stiller, and Angelica Houston. And
Fuck
it's
yeah.
a one of one. It could be anybody.
Now I might need to get into that. That's pretty sweet.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. That product is what made me fall back in love with cards.
Really?
It's just so because it's just I'll show you. It's such a cool product. Like for instance, like okay, like these are some of them, right? Like you'll open up the box and it'll be like Hank Azaria from The Simpsons,
Right.
and this is a 3 out of 5. And then here it is, right here, boom, and there's your boy right there, scripted
Oh
Derek
shit.
Mules, Jason 09.
Fuck yeah, dude. He actually has like some type of garbage pail kid or some type of thing because since I do conventions, he usually sits right next to me. And I've seen a couple of fans bring up like type of garbage pail kids that he signed.
It's a really good set. It's I don't know. It's just
That's
and
fucking
then you got
dope.
and then you got people like this. Like I put a 101 of Chum Lee. You know what I mean? It's like that's cool. Jennifer Carpenter, Dexter, 1 of 1.
There you go.
There's your girl.
Sweet. That's
It's
pretty cool.
it's
And they're called Pop Sensory. I've never even seen those.
every year besides this year, the case hit was in the case. This time to throw people off, it came as just a regular, like in a penny sleeve, and it's a scratch off redemption, and then you send away and they send you a mystery card.
Oh,
I pulled the case it sent away. I should have just showed it to you. When I sent away and I got it, and it was a triple autograph, and it was a scripted. They call them scripted when you write like if like yours, it would be scripted if it was a picture of you and you signed it Kyle Davis, Lil Kev, because
yeah.
it's your character.
Gotcha.
So they have like I got Tony Todd as Candyman, and I was like, fuck, he's dead, dude. Like, and it's just
Yeah.
really cool to get that.
That's actually my Tony Todd is my agent's old client. That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Just passed
Dude,
away.
you know what then? 100%, bro. Talk to your fucking agent, because if Tony Todd was in it, then they will know how to get you in. 100%. Because
I'll
I
ask him.
swear to
The
you,
only
you
problem
would
though,
be
like I'm
great.
saying, is my agent will probably say this to me. Well, Kyle, Tony Todd was the star of these movies. I just know
Bro,
that's how it works, unfortunately.
they have the fucking Real Housewives people on here. Like, it's anybody. It's people you'd be like, who the fuck is this on this?
Well, fuck.
Like your role characters, like Larry Thomas, he's on there strictly for the Soup Nazi.
So are these coming out, like, are they releasing like new ones every year?
Every year, every March they come out.
All right, I'm gonna ask my agent about that then, because that's fucking crazy.
And especially with this right now, how you're building this community around Little Kev and you have all these people. If you sell them on the fact that people will fucking love that and that character is iconic, 100%, it does not elude me, and I do not feel like I'm blowing smoke up your ass to say that it is not far-fetched
Right.
to get you in there.
That's awesome. Well, dude, I had a fucking blast, man. Seriously.
Brother, this was great, dude. This was an amazing talk. I know I'm looking at my time. It ran super long. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but it ran super long because we were having a good chat.
Kyle, before we get out of here, real quick, I have one question I ask every single person that comes on. I would love to know your answer on. In any way, shape, or form, it doesn't have to be in your personal or your business, however way what pops in your head. But in any way, shape, or form, how would you define success?
I mean, there's a lot of ways to define success. Like I'm sure when I'm already old, probably close to dead, but when I'm older and like that, and I look back on my career, since I've had quite a long career and done quite a few roles and characters, that'll probably be a pretty cool like success to me in my life, because obviously when you're poor you want money, which obviously I'd love to win the lottery or do something like that, but seeing the stuff you can look back on, showing it to your kids or your friends or your family later on, and them looking at it or laughing at it, that's fucking pretty awesome. Like truthfully, that's so cool. And right now my daughter's a little young, so when she sees some of my stuff, she doesn't really understand it. She's like, "That's stupid." But I guarantee you, like later on in life, when she's like probably like 20 years old, she'll probably be like, "Holy shit, dude, my dad did that show. That's so cool. Like, I fucking love that stuff." So that's the stuff I'm looking forward to later on in life, to enjoying that. I think that would probably be considered a success.
Love it, dude. Love to hear it.
Appreciate it, brother.
Dude, Kyle, it's been a great time, dude. It's been a great fucking hang. Had a blast. And I hope our paths, not just on Facebook, but I hope one day our paths cross again, my friend.
Ditto, my friend. All right, brother. Have a good rest of your weekend, dude.
Yes, sir. You too, man. Peace.
Later.
Bro, the moment we've been waiting for. We've been waiting fucking, well, for the sense of movie magic, we've been waiting 40 seconds for this. Let me ask you this. What do you hope you hit? Autograph, a sketch, or a printing plate? If you had to pick.
I kind of want to get the printing plate, to be honest with you. The printing plate is just fucking cool, like a cool like metal printing plate. It just looks cool. I love them. But I would take a sketch card. What about you?
I apparently the big chase on this is the Atom Bomb sketch. Or no, I'm sorry, the Atom Bomb autograph, but it's like a certain number. I think it's maybe 10 of 10, they may have a 1 of 1, but I've heard that one of the Atom Bombs is like the real hard to get sketch or chase. So I think I would like to get that.
It's a real box. I'm opening up the package, people.
Let's do it. I'm gonna let you obviously do yours first, or would you want to save yours for last? You want me to blow through mine real quick and then you go for that big hit?
Yeah, let's do that.
So 40th anniversary, Garbage Pail Kids, live break here, Kyle Davis.
Hell,
Got 8 packs, 5 cards per pack. And what's crazy about these, obviously, I'm preaching to the choir from somebody who rips packs. You never know where your hit's going to be. And it would suck if it was in the first pack, but it wouldn't suck,
You know what I do? Just so I can trick myself a little bit, I pull the packs out and I mix them up, shuffle them around. You know what I mean? That way, so I'm just like, whatever, I don't know. And I just
don't know where it came from, don't know which it was.
Other people don't like doing that, but I just mix them up. I'm like, oh, okay, now it's like whatever happens.
It's a grab bag, because either way, it came out of the same box. What does it matter if it's pack 2 or pack 4?
Exactly.
Alice Island. It's a global takeover. It's the vampire, but it's written in like Japanese.
Whoa.
That's pretty cool. Bukimi Kun. Okay.
Wowzer.
Odd Todd. There's a green parallel. Slimy Sam. Kim Kong. Brainy Jane. Janie. Oh shit. Here we go. Atom Bomb. 26 out of 99. I don't know if you can see it.
Dude.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Beef and Barbara. Another green parallel. And Alien Ian. I want to give a shout out to Sports Cards Nonsense for the hookup with these. Jesse over there does card breaks. You can find them on the Fanatics app. Some of the best in the business with card breaks. Great breakers if you can. Anybody watching, check them out.
Shout out. Go get them. Lil Kev says they're good.
Hell yeah. Let's see. Frankenstein. Okay, decapitated heady. Damn, another. No, oh shit. No way, dude.
What?
Holy fuck.
Did you get
Atom Bomb autograph 10 out of 10.
Shut the fuck up.
What? Get the fuck out of here.
Dude.
Whoa. Whoa.
What? Dude, that's fucking badass.
That's
nice.
crazy.
Dude, nice pull.
Damn, that's what I was saying too. That was like, yeah, that's one of the ones I was going for. Fuck. That is a bomb ass card. Numbered and autographed to 10.
Hell yeah. This is what it's all about. That's why I love fucking breaking cards. Dude, that is so dope.
Oh man, I can't wait to pop that online.
Dude, that's 10. That's 10 of 10.
Yeah, number 10 of 10. Autographed. And that's the second Atom Bomb numbered in this pack. Or in this box. Yeah. That's insane. Uh-oh. Doomsday Adam.
Oh yeah, dude. I actually have that card in another series. I didn't even think about it until you just said Doomsday Adam.
Another one. 95 out of 199. Decapitated Hetty. Seymour Barf. The Garfish Scale Kids. Bulls Ira. Diala Twyla. And Skate Nate. Juicy Jessica. Ear Bud. Melton Elton. Leary Lindsay. And this, I had seen these online. Garbage Pail Kid Yourself. DJ. 27 out of 50. Anna Banana, which is fucking insane. My dog's name is Anna, and we call her Anna Banana. Nana Banana. Hottie Scotty. Oh, Boney Tony. Everybody knows this guy.
Of course.
Fun Gus. Another global takeover. Anna Banana. Marshy Marshall. Trast Tracy. And what is this? A Buggy Betty. Fry and Ryan. Wolfgang. Gorgeous George. Slost Josh. Rappin' Ruth. Pretty fucking good, man. That was
dude, that Atom Bomb hit is gonna be good.
Dude, that's a really good box, man. Holy shit. But yeah, that fucking box. That right there. That's fire.
You gotta sleeve that shit up ASAP.
As soon as we are done, I am going to sleeve that up. I'm with you. Now the time has come. Kyle Davis going for the plate.
Okay, here we go.
Let's go. Pack one.
First, we got up Beastie Boy. Oh, we got the one I think you got, Earbud. We got Fiery Francis, Rubber Robber, the Make Yourself thing, right?
Fuck yeah. Yep.
Oh, Grim Jim. It's like an Atom Bomb. 20 out of 99. Fuck yeah, dude. That's badass. I'm stoked. God, I love ripping cards so much.
Dude.
And then we got good old Igloo. That's a classic, as we all know. Charlie Horse. Michael Mutant. Ellis Island. Shima Mima. I've never seen that one. Yeah, Global Takeover. Cool. Jason Basin. Love that guy. It's a little off-centered, so we're not going to be getting that graded, but I still love it.
Yes, I love how you're going with the grading too. Like, it's a little off.
Yeah.
You know, but it's still good. Bless that card's heart.
And a lot of people, everybody, well, if you're a Garbage Pail Kid fan, you know that Nasty Nick was the very first Garbage Pail Kid ever made. Yes. Everybody used to think Atom Bomb because he was on the pack, but Nasty Nick was actually the very first. Brady Janey.
Oh shit.
Brady Janey in the fucking house. Woo! Dude, this is fucking badass. And this actually relates to Always Sunny. Numbered card SD, that's the name, but it's a number card 22 out of 25. I like that one a lot. Like I like things that kind of like correlate with the characters I've played. So D is the dumb flightless bird. So that's
Yeah. Hell yeah.
and then we got Juck and Wolfgang, Stormy Heather, Potty Scotty. Dude, that D one is awesome though.
Yo, I say that 20 out of 25 is the banger so far.
We got Wrinkly Randy. Then we got Phone Bella. We got to do something because my daughter's name is Stella, so I wonder if there's any correlation to that. Then we got TV Stevie. We got another Stormy Heather. So we got two in the same pack, but we got
No shit.
one was a green parallel, one is the regular. We got New Wave Dave, Evil Eddie.
Nice.
19 out of 99. Oh, and right below that, we got an autograph. Look at this. Hell yeah. Tom Bunk autograph.
Bunk.
I'm pretty sure Tom Bunk is actually a pretty big artist over there. Dude, that's cool. All right. Hey, my first autograph. Then we got Jolly Roger. And last one in that pack, we got another Jack-O-Lantern. Gordo. Well, I've never seen this one before. We got a Slosh Josh. This is another national or global thing because it's in Japanese or Chinese or something. Another nasty Nick. And we got Hurt Kurt, which I like because I'm a diehard skateboarder, so I'll take that. Green refractor, or green parallel. Fiery Francis is awesome. I love that thing blasting out fire out of his ass. All right, we got Decapitated Hetty. We got Unzipped Zach, number 7 out of 50, gold.
Damn.
That's fucking badass. A-Bomb Tom, Ghastly Ashley, green parallel. And the last card in the pack, we got another Charlie Horse. That's awesome. I'm stoked. Thank you so much for fucking getting me this thing, dude.
Dude, hey man, having a fucking blast. This has been a blast, and it was a blast ripping them with you, man. I'm